Last time, we began with Tamsin making a pair of animal earrings from canary feathers and some manticore spikes that he got from the manticore and that he kept. And he also decided to train with the monks, so he spent a day training. Um, Archie got a couple badges. He got his dishwashing badge. He got a taking out the garbage badge, and he got a fire maker badge because he got to learn all of those lovely skills. Remember also did some fire eating for the group, and she told them the story of their goddess Bane, and she told them how priestesses are trained in fire eating because it brings them closer to their goddess. And so that was actually the first day. You just kind of had some shopping that got done, and on the second day, they took their rest, and the day after that, they went ahead and Remember got her scale mail, and it's dappled in different colors that kind of like matched her skin and had like some razor blade action going on. Actually boosted up her AC and also makes it so that if she decides to defend while wearing this armor and she's got the scales up, then whatever is doing a melee attack automatically takes 1 point of damage from her scale mail. Lavend had some extra current stock, which the group found out when they went to retrieve Safine's
Things. My
things. And there were a couple interesting ones there. She had like a love potion on stock. She had a couple like poison potions. And the party also got a mercantile coin, which is stamped with the symbol of the Merchants Guild, and also gives them a discount in Atesa if they use that. Let me see here. Let's see.
Did I only miss one session?
Yes, you only
Okay,
missed the
this
one.
okay.
Yeah, but a lot got done.
Yeah.
And then Lavend also mentioned to the group that her brother Ifro at the Merciful Knight may know of an enchanter who could enchant items for them, because I believe it was Temzin who was asking to have something enchanted. I think it was a necklace or something like that.
Yeah, I think I wanted to get something enchanted, like jewelry enchanted, so I could sell it for more.
Yeah. And then you guys went ahead and you grabbed one of the bounties from the bounty board, and you actually went out and fought some bears, and you killed some bears really, really quickly.
6 seconds, no damage.
Even if you did summon a bunch of snakes to find it, which was a little alarming for Angerod, who hid in the cart. And also used Mage Hand to like pluck up spiders as y'all walked. After getting back from fighting these bears and like turning in like this charred bear head and all this stuff, they're like, you know what we want to do? Another one. And so they decided to go after this spider that was supposed to be lurking in the woods, and they brought Harry with them. And so Harry went along with the group a second time. He wasn't bait this time, which was nice for him. He just went ahead and helped. And you guys went ahead and you took down this giant spider. After which you took a short rest, and you managed to sneak Temzin into the jewelers. You managed to sneak him into Wilcom's place of business. And while Tamsin was finding his hiding place, Sabine and Angerod decided to follow after Wilcom and learned he had a lover in the nighttime. One of the other jewelers. And Sabine watched for a few minutes to make sure that they were just lovers in the nighttime, and they were. So she got a show there.
I've seen some things.
So this one-man heist operation went very smoothly, and the group found a couple orders that were suspicious for different jewelry pieces. They found a couple of the blue stones that they have, determined to be a huge issue. And they managed to get out and away without being caught. And so we ended back at the farm where everyone had gone to sleep, and so it is now the next morning. And currently, Remember has gone and taken Archibald and Jade off to do some physical tasks for John and Lacey around the farm. So they aren't around when y'all wake up.
Real quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like a side character thing.
Yeah.
We were all talking about how I think we were supposed to do XP the next session, this session.
Yes.
Because we didn't do the XP for like the bears and the spiders and everything. So I just want to bring that up real quick.
Yeah.
But then, did we discuss, did Temzin, I don't remember what all, I think we just kind of closed, like we all just went back to the barn.
Yeah, I think you gave us a brief overview and then we decided to sleep for the night. Because
Okay.
I had burned pretty much everything at that point. So.
Yeah, everyone,
Right.
Everyone was out of spell slots.
Yeah, everyone was out of spell slots, and it was like a later
Right.
kind of day thing going on. So you got 400 experience points for
Nice.
the bear to split.
Okay.
And then you got 250 experience points for the spider to split. And then you got another 10 experience points for each egg, so they think that's 60. So
you
all
said 400 to
400. So you got roughly 710 experience points to split among the entirety of the party. So that would be all 6 of you.
So roughly 118.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't come out even, but that's what.
Yeah.
We'll call it 118.
118.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. So you guys got 118 experience points
Yay.
to split.
Sorry, I'm just writing some things.
No, you're fine. You guys do your thing. When you wake up in the morning, it would be early enough to smell breakfast prepared, and it's the same sort of like giant plate of scrambled eggs and like day old biscuits kind of thing, like same thing.
Hold on, were they not kicked out of the farm?
No, they got back and
everything was fine.
And well, it wasn't fine, but John,
For a given value of fine.
it was John went ahead and accepted the fact that this should have been done previously.
Okay.
It should have been taken care of, and he was too much of a coward to do it. He just couldn't bring himself to do it.
Okay.
So,
Was there anything that happened after that about it with everybody?
everyone was traumatized.
Okay.
Yeah, that was.
We kind of let that be.
Okay. It was real sad.
Right.
And then we went and bought some shit.
Yeah, the next day everyone was like, you know what we want to do? Just kill things straightforward.
Really
Punch
stress
all the
relief.
things.
And they did. They went ahead
Killed
and
some stuff
got
real
some
quick.
stress relief.
Okay. So, just kind of talking through, because I'm not sure where I'm at in terms of what needs to happen next for us to move the plot forward. Because now we know that the jewels are here, and we know that they're probably connected to the crown. Like, they're probably connected to the Lady Commander and the Lord Commander.
Right. Well, and how many more days is it until we're supposed to meet with the Lord Commander?
It is now, it's just under a week. Because you were told a fortnight, and you guys have now been together for like a week and a day.
Okay. And the 15th of the next month
Is when
that delivery is supposed to be made.
Yes.
For the...
It just says purchase, is all it said
Right.
was.
It was a blank order, similar to the other blank orders. So, assuming somebody's going to be making a big purchase for the crystals, the 15th of the next month.
Well, we could go to Una with it and just tell her that we've been investigating, that we have reason to believe that the bee's knees has a hidden, thing, and if she wants to send in other maybe like special operatives to go find out more information, then she can.
I think we are her special operatives.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, is she in for a rude awakening. Then.
Hey, Simpson performs professionally.
Well, I only snooped on a very, very gay man for a night, so I'm not that professional apparently.
No, you're not. No. Well, I mean, we know that the other two jewelers kind of set off an alarm as well.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know to what degree they're connected, though.
Yeah.
There's nothing as big as this guy, so.
Well, and everything has always been underneath the banner of the Merchants Guild. Like,
Mhm.
all of the stuff that we have found so far has had that crest on it in one way or another.
Right.
So, at this point, I'm almost wondering if it's not necessarily we're going to have one person who's at fault for all of this, so much as a systematic thing
Right.
that might be happening.
I wonder if they
No, I
even
agree.
know that they're causing it.
Yeah, that's almost where I'm at right now. Like, I don't know that everybody involved knows that they're involved in what's going on.
Right, because why would they make them so callously, like, without...
Well, I feel like Wilcom has to know, because one, he knows not to deal with the stones with his bare hands.
Yeah,
He's using proper protective
True.
materials.
that's true.
He may not necessarily know what they do, but
He knows not to touch him. And
Yeah.
he knows who he's selling him to.
right, exactly. And
Yeah.
I mean, somebody could have leverage over him, or who knows? There could be a million things. But
Have we shown Una the stones?
I don't think you have.
I think we've just told her about them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I feel like I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We might do that and just see if she knows. Because if it's an established thing within the city that we just don't know about, she might know just by seeing them.
right,
So,
yeah.
I think you guys are right. I think we might just need to talk to Una.
Okay.
I think she'd like to see that we've actually done something productive.
I mean, yeah, that's probably pretty.
We do need to be careful though, because who knows? We could get like,
Bamboozled?
yeah, we could get stabbed in the back, and it could go south for us.
Yeah, it could. Alright, well,
How so?
like, what if she's not legit?
See, okay, I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly, but I feel like I remember whenever the stones were brought up, she, like, pushed it off, like, didn't want to talk about them.
Oh.
I don't know if I'm remembering it
I
correctly.
believe at the same time that the stones were first brought up was after they had just gone and like killed a bunch of wolves in the tunnels.
And she was like,
And
what
so
the
she's
heck?
like, you brought me rocks and you killed a bunch of
Right.
wolves in the mines.
Mhm.
What am I supposed to do with this information?
We have
So
some solid
I think
evidence.
it was less pushing it away. I don't want to talk about it. And
Like,
more,
what the hell?
and more, you're bringing me nothing I can use. Yeah.
And like, I love rocks and wolves.
Yeah, they were like, we killed a bunch of things and we're covered in their gore. And she was like, I asked you to lay low. I asked you not to draw attention to yourselves. They did exactly the opposite. Let me go ahead and get the map of the city off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was
We
gonna
don't
say that's
need it.
helpful. Yeah, I think talking to him is the best next move. Because we can investigate the other jewelers, but I don't think it's going to be that productive. We're just going to find
I
some
agree.
crystals there, probably.
Yeah.
I think that it would be great if we could figure out the supplier for Welcome, who he's getting the crystals from.
Yeah.
But we don't really have information for that yet.
Yeah,
We
and if
probably
he's
have
not
to
going
just...
to have it drop for another month, then...
Right. I mean, I don't know how close we are to the next month, but at least 2
It
weeks
is
out.
currently the 26th of Akkus, so you are 4 days away. Each month has 30
So
days.
19 days out.
Should I do detect evil and good or detect magic?
Magic. I wish I had detect magic. Good lord.
That'd be lots easier.
Yeah. Okay. And then what else have we? Sorry,
No, you're good.
I'm low today.
Hmm?
I've been brought low.
Physically.
Because we haven't seen anybody else wearing them. We've only seen that as like a group of weirdos in the caves, in the mine. We saw the wolves. And if I recall properly, they were using the mines to smuggle stuff, right? Or they were using it for something.
They were in the mine.
They were in
Right.
the mine where we left all those dead bodies.
Yeah.
But were there jewels there? There weren't like extra jewels.
There weren't any. The only jewels
They
that you found at
mentioned
the
them.
time, they mentioned that they had been sold to some of the betrayers.
Right.
And I took
That's
one off
what
of
that
the
was,
collar
that
of a dog,
was.
I think.
Yeah, off of
That was
one
the
of the
one.
wolves. Yeah.
There's just a
Session before
weird,
that.
like, dark magic user down there doing some weird ritual stuff.
The necromancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know where else we would go at this point to forward everything.
Yeah, why don't we just go harass Una?
Okay.
Well, let's not harass her, but let's give her some information.
I mean,
Two very different things.
Yep. It's fine.
Alright, so I guess that's our plan. We're gonna go ahead to try and find Una, probably at the center. Just like, be kind to me, please.
yeah, seriously,
We
some
need to
of
get you
us.
some armor.
Squishy wizard.
I'm squishy cleric.
We need to find you like a special cloak that adds to your AC
Mhm.
without restricting your agility, your dexterity.
That's a good point, actually. Would there be somewhere in town for like magical artifacts and stuff like that?
You'd have to
Well-
ask around.
Would that be where I would go to get my jewelry enchanted?
Probably, yeah.
Because where did you told me somewhere to go for that?
Leven told you to speak with her brother Ephro at the Merciful Knight because he gets more people through there, so he would probably know of somewhere. Like, her specialty isn't enchanting
Okay.
stuff.
And the Merciful
Just
Knight,
spells.
that was is that an inn? I know I see where it's
Yeah.
at. It was an inn though?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, down there.
yeah, the Merciful Knight is an inn.
Mm-hmm.
It's bigger actually than the Boar's Head Tavern.
Adrian runs an inn.
No, someone else does.
Sorry, I gotta find music.
Okay. So where are you guys heading?
Well,
And are you going to leave a note for anyone, letting them know where you've gone?
Oh yeah, I guess we should let people know.
Nah, let them find.
We'll fox them later.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's
Sure.
the name of a medieval market? Like a market.
Bazaar?
A bazaar, thank you.
Angarod's gonna clean up a bit before she goes, make sure like everything's in order and
Okay.
her clothes are all right, because she wants to be able to walk in
Mm-hmm.
and belong.
Right.
Are our animals still like good? Or
Yeah, you can go check on them. I mean, John doesn't really know like what to do with like a rhinoceros and stuff, but like Fitsum has been just kind of like hanging out with him because he's like
a doggo.
he's a dog. He's been like, I know what to do with a dog on the farm, and he just kind of like follows.
I do need to
him
go to the
around.
blacksmith. So, oh, that's a little loud. I got louder.
What?
But yeah, so like he's not entirely sure what to do with the rhinoceros. He's talked to a couple other people to like find out how to care for them. Like some of like the outer lying taverns who usually get rando animals through.
Right.
So he's like taking care of your horses and he like lets them out into the pasture and stuff like that. And he's like, all right, your horses are here. But thankfully Una is paying him for this, because
Right.
otherwise y'all would be,
In the whole lot of monies.
you would certainly be paying something.
Especially for a rhino.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, Tamsin's just gonna wake up,
Okay.
do his morning things, and then meet up with everybody before they head out.
Safine's just gonna do his same, eat breakfast, have a little tea that she's gonna keep very far from Jimmy.
Jimmy's probably at this point like, what is that?
Don't worry about it, kid.
But why?
Because I said so.
But why?
Oh my god, Jimmy, please, go find Remember.
Okay. He like runs off out the door.
I could see.
Well,
I could
just-
see her going like, "Hey, Jimmy, see the stick? Go get it."
Go get this stick.
Did somebody leave a note?
Yeah, I got it. Oh,
Okay.
Angarod will write it out in
Dear
her
Mr.
beautiful,
Foil
like,
Ham.
flowing cursive and
Too much prose for a note to say we're going to see Una.
my dearest of friends.
Beloved comrades.
How I miss
So
you.
fluffy.
Yeah, so she'll write a note out. She'll just tell them kind of basically where they're going, what's going on, and then they're gonna. She doesn't necessarily want to distract Remember and Archie because they're doing good stuff, and like this isn't really something that would interest them. She doesn't feel.
Sure thing. So you guys go ahead and you head into the town. People are awake now. Like, it's definitely like a time of day, time of the morning where people are awake. They're going about doing what they need to do. You know, people are kind of greeting you. You've been here for a couple days now, so people are starting to like recognize you, especially since you all kind of stick in the
The
same group.
monster champions.
You keep bringing them stuff that they keep like getting pieces of. There's some kid like stabbing a friend with a spider leg, like chasing him. And so you guys go ahead down through through the circle and into the Golden Heart, and Harry is stationed at the gate. He's on shift, and he. What are they doing up there?
A lot.
An Indian dance or something.
The utmost
And
is dancing.
So you guys go ahead, and they kind of wave you on through, and you head into the Great Hall. And Budmore is talking with a couple of the betrayers who are looking at the board and discussing, adding a couple new things to it, and discussing a couple, you can hear them, talking about a couple, bandits that they might need to take care of on one of the roads.
Ooh, bandits.
So, yeah. You guys are just, standing in the Great Hall, the foyer of the hall.
I'll go out. There's no, front desk or anything, right?
No, it's
Right.
just there's this sweeping staircase that leads up and kind of splits off into two ways. Then you have the couple of doors that that way over there leads you to that dining room that you guys were taken to with Archie.
Where's the concierge?
But yeah, there's betrayers going back and forth, and
Angrad's gonna go over towards Bunmore and just, Bunmore, my friend. Bonjour, how are you?
Oh, good morning. What are you taking from me today?
We are not going to take anything just yet, though if you keep tempting me, I might come back and take something new, if you have it.
Always do, mostly, hopefully. Get rid of some of the filth that's outside the gates, but yeah.
We'd be happy to do so for you, but before we do that, we are actually interested in going to see Una. Do you know where she might be?
Well, she's usually got business up with the Lord Commander about this time of day. I can send someone to let her know you'd like to speak with her.
Yes, that would be wonderful, thank you very much.
Alright, sure thing. And so he kind of nods and goes to talk with a couple betrayers who salute and then vanish off down one of the halls. Cool. And then he just goes and he's back at the board and he's looking over things, he's scribbling notes here and there. You see the spider is crossed out and it's got your names scribbled on it. And then same with the bears, your names are scribbled on it with a ha ha.
Or what is that terrible movie we always watch, but it's got the really bad Mythica with the really bad dwarf, and she's like, I got an ear, and he's like, LOL, and just scribbles her name down, and we're like, Mythica.
Yeah. So you guys are standing in the hall for a bit, and after about 15 minutes or so, oh cool, remember
That's
it's on.
very rhythmic.
It is.
It's much more rhythmic than what I thought was going on.
Same.
To be honest.
That's why I was like, it's some type of Native American
That's one-
some drum circle going on.
I didn't notice the rhythm until just now, too.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Let me just.
Imagine Lucy wrote you a really long note of just
Can you see the group?
Yeah.
All right.
we're both.
We weren't meaning to.
if you want to go on Sunday, get dressed up as best as you can and just wave at shit. on it. No.
Let's go.
She keeps missing.
Yeah, it's because it's a video.
What about your face?
No, it's okay.
We
We'll
want to see
deal
your
with
face.
you lagging.
Sometimes the boards just might not match your picture. Alright, so you guys are waiting there for 15, 20 minutes, making small talk with a couple betrayers who come in.
Are there any neglected threads?
No, there are no neglected threads right now. You go ahead and are waiting for Una, and she comes sweeping down. She's got a bunch of paperwork in one arm. She has a couple rolled up things of parchment in the other, and she glances you over and she's like, "Can we talk here, or do we need to talk elsewhere?"
I think it would be best if we went somewhere else.
Right, very well. I'll take them in my office, and then she kind of takes the three of you down the hall, and she opens this heavy door that leads into a very small stone room with lit torches and everything that are kind of like, the walls are kind of smudged with soot. But what's very strange about this room compared to the rest of this great hall that you've been in is that the floor here is just dirt. The floor is dirt, and there's little like tufts of grass and weeds that are like growing up around like a desk that's in the room, like just this like comfortable looking chair. The walls themselves have like moss along the edges, and
This is like her office.
this is her place of work. And so she actually slips her shoes off as she steps into the room, and she goes ahead and sits down behind she goes ahead and sits down behind the desk, and she lays her paperwork out, and she's like, okay, so what is it?
We have come across some new information that we thought we should share with you, and maybe reconsidered some old information that we think might be more important than than we previously thought that it was. The first thing that I want to do, I have something to show you. It is not pleasant, but I want you to see it so that you might be able to tell us if it is something that you recognize. And Angrad's gonna pull out one of the blue stones that she's been carrying carefully, like she's trying not to touch it if she can avoid it, but she already knows she's kind of fucked with these things, so she's just gonna carefully try and display it as best she can.
Tenzin's like watching, very like.
So she just holds her hand out.
These stones are not pleasant to touch, Una, and they leave a lasting mark. I do not know that you want to touch it.
Well, what is it?
We believe it is what has been making the Lord Commander act the way that he has. It inspires a sort of grief and paranoia and restlessness. It is a wholly undescribable and awful feeling. This, however, you could touch, and I'm going to pull out the hush hush and also give that to her. This is what we have found that seems to mitigate some of the symptoms.
And so she takes the little dream catcher, and as she studies it, she gets a funny look on her face.
That's good.
And she's like, where did you get this?
A strange little man named Tom.
The trinket man.
Tom. Right. Did he happen to mention where he got it from?
Did he mention where he got
He
it?
doesn't remember.
I do not think that he did.
And she studies it a bit more, and she's like, do you know what I am?
Not by name. Actually, would I?
Really mean.
You would know
Should
that
check for something?
you would know that she is known as a horned one, and they're rumored to exist, but Una is one of the very few you've seen. And yep, but
That's exactly
she's
my
the
thought.
only one in Atesa that like no one has seen any others. She could be like, as far as people know, she could be using disguised self. She could be bullshitting like the whole town kind of
She's a
thing.
conspiracy theorist.
Conspiracy theorists love it.
Would Angrad do any further study into horned ones and like lore behind them or anything like that?
Is she a history buff?
I don't. Yes, she has a +6 to history.
Then yeah. So she would be aware that horned ones were discovered very shortly after the founding of Duran, which was the very first of the kingdoms. But they were discovered as civilizations cropped up. And so Una very carefully hands this back to you. And she says, this is made from oak. And she kind of brushes her hands off a little bit and she says, "This oak is from a horned one. And I believe that it is from my brother of sorts."
Shit, whoops.
Whoopsies.
And you say that you got this from Tom,
Yes, that is the truth.
and that it counteracts whatever that is.
Yes.
I would like to see it, please. And she holds her hand out for the stone again.
Oh no.
Okay.
Would we know historically, like, if they can grow back? Cause that just sounds so.
You've seen her horns like flowering and stuff like that, but you would know that. So Angarod would be aware that the pieces of like wood or leaves and stuff like they can fall off and be broken off, but they can grow back.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Ugh, okay. Yeah, Angrad's gonna. Well, I will ask you one last time because this is not something that I take lightly. When I touched this for the first time, it showed me possibly one of the worst moments of my life. Are you sure?
I am.
Angrad's gonna go ahead.
She like clears off a space on her desk and then she takes the blue stone and she kind of folds her fingers around it and she goes completely rigid. And she just kind of stares ahead and then very, very deliberately she just sets it on the desk and removes her hand. You may take that back.
Just gonna grab it.
Where did you find this?
The first we also found from Tom. The second we found in a cave with the wolves that he detested so much. It was attached to a collar that was marked with the symbol of the Merchant's Guild of Atesa. We have also found evidence of them inside of the bee's knees.
All three jewelers.
Yeah.
Inside of the bee's knees, and have reason to suspect that there are more of them inside of all of the jewelers inside of the city. These stones are rampant in this area, and we do not know why.
I see. I will arrange a meeting for you with the Lord Commander. I have to see to something briefly.
Una, what are we seeing the Lord Commander for? I thought we had another week.
Yes, well, if those are driving the King Commander out of his wits, then I think it would be best that you see him in person.
Can I perception check this?
Yeah.
Can I join the insight?
Yeah.
Wise.
Insight or perception?
It would be insight.
Oh.
13.
22.
Whew. 22 gets it. She is definitely concerned. She looks very uncomfortable and honestly a little bit scared. You've also touched the stones, right? So, from the expression on her face, she has experienced something very similar to what you did.
Fascinating.
So, she clearly wants nothing more to do with touching it or being near it.
But, so, our expedited meeting with the Lord Commander is just to feel him out, or?
You have not spoken with him yet. You have not met with him yet. And I think it is important that you see him.
And what will be our guise for our meeting? What is the point?
You got into town earlier. He is expecting you in roughly a week. So you simply got into town a lot sooner than was expected. Tomorrow evening, I'll have a meal prepared and you can speak with him.
Una, have you seen a jewel like that on the Lord Commander?
I believe I have. I need to confirm.
Una, I have my suspicions just from having been in higher social circles for quite some time and seeing the way that people like to manipulate. I have my suspicions that this was something done on purpose by a singular individual, or perhaps a group of individuals that would like to see the Lord Commander harmed. Do you have any suspicions? Do you know of anyone that might want him paranoid, sleepless, making decisions he would not usually make?
Iteseth is run by money. The people who have the money would probably like to see someone else in control, someone else who is more easily swayed by it.
This is also terrible, but literally we started our first session so long ago, I can't even remember why the Lord Commander wants to see us.
He didn't say
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
we,
he
we
didn't
still
say.
don't know.
Oh, okay, cool, because I just got a hecka ominous note.
Yeah, we
And
just
that
got
was
the
all I
summons.
remembered.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's all
great.
we got.
Glad we're on the same page. Like, let's just go meet a stranger.
Do we know any more about the way the economy and like the politics and how the government, how all of that works here?
You don't know that much about Iteseth. You know that that people are usually elected in, but that the people who do the electing are the ones who fund Iteseth essentially.
Okay.
It's the merchants, it's the crafters, it's the quote unquote guilds.
Una, do you know why the Lord Commander initially wanted to see us?
Only that he did. And only that these letters were sent to you, the ones that you initially received.
Would I know from having interacted with the stones? Like, obviously, I've taken efforts to shield myself, and I'm carrying a hush hush as well. So, like, I'm trying to counterbalance it. But from the time that I've spent with them when they haven't been counteracted, am I still able to take? Like, is it a mounting effect? Like, the longer I'm with the stone, the more out of my mind I would become, or is it kind of?
It's not that you were getting out of your mind. You just were hearing something that was pretty traumatic.
Yeah.
So, depending on how you are mentally, like that might affect you differently than it would affect someone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if, for example, the Lord Commander happens to be maybe either a war vet or something like that, it could make him very paranoid very
It
quickly.
could, yeah.
Okay.
Well, oh no, I was just thinking.
Yeah, go.
Una, we don't know much about the way things work here, but you said that the people who have the money would rather somebody else be in charge that they could pay off. Is there an election coming anytime soon that heads up this way?
Not soon, no.
Hmm.
Likely before the Lord Commander gets too old in years,
Guys, I officially have filled a fifth of my notebook.
Wow.
nice.
Wow. Sorry.
But were he to be indisposed, an election would come a lot faster.
And does he have somebody that would take his seat if something were to happen, or would somebody be re-elected in,
Like a vice president.
per se?
Well,
Lady
unfortunately, that might fall to me, or the Lady Commander, if the Lady Commander were not indisposed as well. They have been grooming Ernest to fill his father's role. But really, it just depends on when it would happen.
Has Lady Commander shown any weird behavior?
Not weird or strange, no. Concern for the Lord Commander.
As he, she said that he has been ordering jewelry for her, possibly. Has she been, has he been trying to outfit her with possibly the same stones, or
I have seen nothing out of the ordinary. He's known to gift his wife whatever he can,
as he should?
as he should. But no, nothing out of the ordinary.
Well, then I guess the next thing we do is see the Lord Commander.
All right, I will have a meeting arranged for you tomorrow night.
Um, in the meantime, well, we already said that Wilcom has a bunch of jewels.
Yeah. Una, is there, before we leave, before we take our toilet, whatever, uh, for those that we have seen with these jewels, that we can confirm that they have them, is there any action that you want us to take? Because we did not take them, we left them where they were.
Continue with that.
Do you want us to confirm the other stones that we believe are in the area, or
How would you confirm them?
We have our ways.
carefully?
Carefully, discreetly. Very discreetly.
I don't know what they're talking about. I just saw two men kissing last night.
What?
Hey, you know anyone named Diane?
Um,
That's very discreet.
not personally.
That's unfortunate. Never mind.
Do you know of a woman named Diane with dark hair?
Wilcom's late wife.
Oh.
Under mysterious circumstances?
No, she just fell ill and the healers were unable to help her.
Ah, very good. Continue.
Is this related in any way?
I don't think so.
It might be.
It might be.
It is?
What were the circumstances of her illness?
She had a weak constitution. And unfortunately, when winters came through, she would tend to fall ill. And one winter, she got sick and we could not help her.
Do you know how many winters ago that was?
2, perhaps 3.
When, brief aside, out of character, do you remember what the earliest order for the stones was? Did we look at that?
As far back as the book had? Yeah, I think we went over that. I don't remember. There was just a bunch of empty, or like weird orders, but I don't have. The earliest one went back to right before we were summoned for the event, right?
It's not like a matter of years back that we see these stones start to be ordered. It's like right before we came, right?
Say again?
When Tamsin was looking through the order book in Bee's Knees, the stones started showing up just like a few weeks ago, right? They haven't been on back order for years.
Did you write that information down?
I did not. Because I was dumb.
Well, I know I went through the book.
Yeah, I feel
don't
like you
remember
asked.
how far back the book went, and how far back the
It's
weird
just a
orders coming
cocaine
in went.
business from like a billion years ago.
And I feel like I should remember this, but I don't. I need to listen to the podcast.
Last entries.
Eunice just said like 2 years ago?
She said
Or
2 or 3 years.
2 to 3. Okay.
Bless
Bless you.
you.
Oh my god.
Her business is the Lord Commander. It's not really like the other people.
Yeah. Okay.
Una, does the Lord Commander have dogs?
Well, yes. He has a pet dog for Lord Stalwart.
Have they recently acquired any new collars, by chance?
No.
Alright. It is fine.
Is Diane and the dogs, is all of this related in some way?
We are not sure as of yet exactly what is related and in what way it is.
We
We are
know
following all of our potential avenues.
Very well.
Imagine being Una, like we all know what we're talking about, but she has no idea. So we're like cryptically asking her questions, and she's just trusting us as and this is important because we're like, don't worry about it, everything's fine, we're gonna fix it all.
Yeah. So she's just sitting at her desk, like her toes are kind of like working the dirt under her desk, and she's like,
Well, we will follow up with the other jewelers to try and confirm.
Yeah, we can like at least locate object or something like that.
In the meantime, perhaps we should keep an eye on Wilcom because we don't want more stones going out.
"Does Wilcom have the stones?"
We said that.
Yes.
Yeah, we said the bee's knees.
You
We
said,
totally
you
said
said
that.
the bee's knees, but you didn't say what was going on there.
Oh, well, yeah.
And then you
yes.
like jumped
Sorry,
asking about Diane.
No, I'm sorry. I thought that was implied.
Yeah, I totally thought we had
I
told
totally
that.
thought that was implied with like the bee's knees.
She's like,
Yes, Wilcom was in possession of several of the stones. They were within his workshop and also
the
within his
tools
personal quarters.
to craft them into jewelry.
I will personally check on whatever comes in. I know that the Lord Commander likes to get Wilcom's work for the lady, and she like scribbles something down. She like grabs a quill and scribbles something down.
Be very aware of any circlets that might come in.
And a necklace.
Yes.
Whatever comes in, I will personally inspect.
Thank you.
Is there anything else I should be aware of? Is
Fuck
Archie
if I know.
alive?
Yes.
Like she's
I'm sure
like,
he's
he's
alive.
not with you. Is
As of
he?
this morning, he was.
When we left him, he was perfectly fine. He had earned his dishwashing badge. You would be very happy to know.
You got
And
him
he's
to
taking
wash.
out the trash.
You got him to wash dishes.
Which is ironic because he was with the trash, so he took himself out.
Oh my god.
Thank
Wow.
you, Safine. Lovely.
Yes, he is growing a lot in his personal character. Remember, has taken a shine to him. She seems to count him as some kind of protege.
Or pet. Alright, very well. I'll let the Lady Commander know that he is doing well, and we will have a dinner arranged for you all with the Lord Commander tomorrow
Shit,
night.
y'all, we're gonna eat good.
Again. LOL. Same. Pow, 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 pow.
Angra has very, very carefully packed the blue stone away. She's making sure she's in contact with the hush hush. She keeps that like tucked into her like. Well, she's wearing a corset. Hold on. She somehow keeps it tucked against her so that she's touching it at all times. Yes.
Whoosh.
Side note: I did watch an entire conversation today on how these bridesmaids and these women in formal dresses were trying to hide their phones on them so they could have their phones during this wedding, and it was fascinating.
Shoving it where
One had it here, one had it here, and they were trying to show each other how to do it. Like, it was fascinating.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, she's making sure Hush Hush is in contact with her, and she's wrapping the stones up and putting them inside of her pouch and making sure that they're well put away so that nobody accidentally pickpockets her and gets them.
Right, and so she kind of stands up and she goes back over to the door and she's like, alright then, just remember, try not to draw too much attention to yourselves.
Before I leave, can I just perception check her office for anything suspicious?
Suspicious. Una, we have been
19.
making a little bit of a spectacle in terms of the things that we've been killing for money. I don't know.
I've heard. Her office is actually pretty bare. Like, it's the dirt floor, there's like plants growing up out of it and stuff like that, but other than like her desk and a comfortable chair to sit at, there's really not that much that personalizes it.
Okay, so there's nothing like...
Well, it's very personal for her.
It's personal for her, but it's not like there aren't like
anime statues.
Yeah, there's not like a locked box in the
Like
corner.
trinkets or
Yeah,
anything,
there's nothing really like that.
Hippy-dippy people, I swear.
Okay.
No.
So what would Remember do when she gets back to the farm and sees that folks aren't there? Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's roughly you guys. It's probably nearing in on like later morning. Is probably what it is right now.
Can I go to the blessed orchid? Orchard?
Where is that one? That one, the Blessing Orchard.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's an orchard.
Was that the one with the tree?
It's this one over
Oh,
here.
over there.
Yep, it's got like a little well and stuff like that. Yeah. So Safine goes, and are you bringing people with you, or are you just heading to the orchard?
I mean, I'm just gonna head there, and then if anyone wants to tag along, they're welcome to. But she's not gonna be like, "Hey, everyone, you want to come to the orchard with me?"
Well,
That's exciting.
This is how you know we're still not friends yet. All right. So
What kind of orchard is it?
A blessed one.
it's called the Blessings Orchard.
Do they grow almonds?
My gosh.
Huh?
Almonds.
Almonds.
Amen.
We grow them. We get to name them.
That's how you pronounce them.
No.
Where
No,
you
no.
grow them.
No.
Yep.
No.
All right.
Ashamed.
So Sophie.
Tamsin is before she splits off is gonna say, should we meet up somewhere? Because I think I'm gonna go to the blacksmith.
Yeah, I could do with some more armor right now. I got shmoney.
I personally would like to go and possibly taste some of the wines on offer in the city. So I would like to go to the winery, but we can definitely do multiple things in a day. I would like to come to this orchard as well.
Okay.
Alright, well then, Tamsin's probably just gonna head off to the.
Fitz.
Well, he's gonna take Fitzum with him. So he's gonna go to the blacksmith. So I guess I mean I probably have to go back to the farm then.
Yeah, you would have to head back up to the farm. So
Okay. I'll go to the farm and pick up Fitzum because I want to
Alright.
go to the blacksmith.
So remember, would see Temzin come back to grab his doggo.
Good morning. Well, we had a discussion with Una, and I'm sure we'll probably meet up together in a little bit to go over it. But we're basically are going to be having a meeting with the Lord Commander tomorrow night. That is the plan. Well, this is going to be with the actual Lord Commander because Una is very worried. She goes, yes. I mean, I follow the orders of fate, but sure. Anyway, I'm gonna go to the blacksmith. I need to get some armor for Fitzum. Uh, well, I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult, but thank you.
Okay.
What are you guys up to? Because I don't, I shouldn't say guys, but what are all of you up to?
By this
Yes, you have quite a ways to go with him.
Loud talk,
Keep
y'all.
it up.
So you see like Jade running off with Jimmy to go catch more bees and lizards. Like she just fucking runs off into the woods with Jimmy yelling bees, and he's like lizards.
Oh,
There's
gosh.
going to be a loud cough.
What?
A loud pop.
Do you need help?
I got the bubbly wine. Did you put a cloth over
I
it?
did put a cloth on it, but I can't get the cork to come out. I love freaking Jade's last quote from not last session, but the session before. Spiders are the inferior, creepy creature.
Okay. So, what do y'all... Are you just hanging out with him now, remember? Or... Okay. So you just hang out at the farm, and Tenzin heads out with Fitsum
Yes.
back to the blacksmith. And when
Wait, hold on. You're telling me Remember would not want to see Fitsum armored?
At the moment, like, he's just gonna get fitted.
She's just gonna
Fits
watch
him
like
fitted.
a little old lady like
Yeah.
come up with a measuring tape against a dog and be like, "Here you go, yes."
All right, so you go ahead and you head towards Sophia's blacksmith shop again. And so she sees you coming up, and she kind of waves, and then Sylvia sees that you have a dog. And
Sylvia's her daughter, right?
yes, Sylvia's her
Okay.
daughter, and she just yells "puppy!" and she like runs over, and she's like on her hands and knees, which brings her down to like your height, and she's just like, "Hi there, little puppy. Hi, you're such a good boy, aren't you?" And she's like working Fitsum
Yeah.
up, like just praising him for being alive.
Good morning, Sylvia.
Hi, aren't you a good boy? Yes, you're so good. And she's like
This is
grabbing his ears and
my
like scratching.
steed, Fitsum. His name's Fitsum.
And she kind of pauses and she goes, "But steeds are horses."
Well, I'm short, and this is my companion steed, man's best, halfling's best friend.
And she's like, she's now looking at Fitsum and then like glancing at you, and then she seems to be putting two and two together, and she goes, "Mom, can I go get the saddle?" And she's like, no, he has his own saddle for Fitsum. Right.
Yes, that's very true. Good morning, Sophia.
Good morning.
Thank you. Yes. I was actually wondering if you can create armor for animals.
I can. I haven't before.
Are you up for a challenge?
And she's like now looking at the dog, and she like takes a step back, and she's like, "I could certainly try."
I was hoping that we could do something that would be
Easily 'cause they're
flexible and lightweight and wouldn't restrict his movement and ability, but also give him a bit of protection. I worry about him because he's with me all the time, and you know, with battle, he's not the toughest thing around, if you know what I mean.
Yes, that sounds about right. And she's just like glancing over this dog now. Let me see here. Actually, I need to take this one off. We don't have that anymore.
Is Fitsum enjoying all the attention he's
Fitsum
getting?
is enjoying every ounce of this attention because this little girl is just like lavishing him with praise he probably doesn't deserve.
He like ate John's socks earlier that day.
All right.
This is fucking delicious.
Thank you.
Wow.
Okay, did you want to roll?
Well,
Sure.
yes. Yeah, I think I can manage something.
Do you would you need time to put a price quote together for me?
Yes, I've got one of my neighbors a few houses back. He's got a dog in a similar size, so I'll do some fitting with him, and give me about an hour.
Okay. Well, if you need, I brought Fitsum specifically in case you needed to measure him.
You don't mind leaving your dog with me?
Well, I can stay if you would prefer me to, or I can leave him with you. He's a good boy.
It will take about an hour.
Well, then I can come back in an hour if you're okay with that. This is going
Yeah,
between Scottish and British.
that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. And she's now like looking at him like, yeah,
So
I can do this.
I'm gonna run. pat Fitzum's face. I'm like, Fitzum, you listen to Sophia.
And she's just like, wow, you've got him really trained.
He just speaks common.
Pretty much. This is mine.
Alright, give me an hour and I'll figure it out. And she like whistles and gestures for Fitzum to follow her, and does Fitzum follow?
Oh yeah.
Alright. So Fitzum follows her off into the shop. Sylvia goes screeching after her because there's a dog in her house.
So while I'm still in there, do I see anything like any new weapons or armory or anything like displayed and nothing?
No, I mean,
Okay.
you were just here yesterday.
Yeah, I figured.
I am the weakest human. I just ripped open my nail under, like my under nail bed from trying to push that
Oh my
cork
gosh.
up.
Yeah, you're bleeding.
Yeah.
What the heck?
What in the world? You're a cleric, everybody.
Alright.
It's what those drugs will do.
Drugs.
Drugs. Okay.
I'm at the orchard.
How far is the orchard?
Orchard.
Because like,
Yeah.
how long would it take Timson to get there?
It wouldn't take too long. It's just around the corner, like up the road a ways.
Like 15 minutes? Like 10 minutes?
Like 10 minutes. It's
Okay.
not. It's not.
Since Timson knows
No.
people are heading that way, he's gonna head that way.
Okay.
He's never been
Is
there.
Angerod going to the orchard as well? Okay. So when you guys get to this orchard, it is absolutely beautiful. And did I put the name for them? Yes. Okay. So there is on the gate surrounding the orchard is this beautiful iron fence and a placard that says Silver Needle. And inside are all these beautiful flowering trees. They're starting to get into bloom and stuff, but they're not quite ready for harvest or anything yet. You see a couple kids that are like playing hide and seek around the trees and stuff like that, and there's just this really lovely big well that's right in the middle.
Is there like an attendant at all, or like anyone who tends to the orchard?
Yeah, after looking around a little bit, you do see someone kind of like checking out the trees and like plucking out weeds here and there, plucking off dead leaves, and he has like a little notebook and he's writing things down in it.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, can I help you?
Perchance, do you sell, maybe saplings or I forgot what the words are called. But basically, is there a way I could get a potted plant from you? Or
We really we really don't sell our plants. These are all in use for our winery.
I'm looking for a special gift. I would prefer it to be alive. Perhaps something that grows well with minimal sunlight.
I can probably try and find something for you.
That would be perfect.
What is your name?
Jerry. With a G.
Lovely to meet you, Jerry. I've seen you coming through town a bit. You've raised quite a fuss with the children. And he like points over, and there's like the kid with the spider leg, like that you gave the massive spider leg to, like trying to stab at his friends.
We did our best to dole as much of the items that we gave out as possible.
I'm sure you did. Well, my name is Frederic, and if you need anything, I'll be at the Silver Needle Inn. But I will do my best to find you such a plant. Where can I have it delivered?
Where did we just come where Una was?
The
The
Grand Hall.
Golden Heart.
Please just send it to Una's office.
Oh, for Miss Una. I'll find something she'll like.
Perfect. Thank
And where can I send the bill?
you. To the farm, just outside. Address it to Jimmy.
Jimmy.
I'll take care of it later.
This is a small town, my dude. He probably knows Jimmy.
I know.
You want me to send a bill to an 8-year-old boy?
Right, we're learning about budgets and how we spend our money. So I'll be paying the bill, you see, but he's working on a chart right now. It's very important to him.
All right.
It'll be paid.
And he like scribbles something else down in his little book, and he's like, Very well. I'll deliver it myself.
Thank you, Frederick. You're a very kind. Is he a man?
Yeah.
You're a very kind man. Listen, I could say a bunch of things, okay? He's like, I'm a tiefling.
There's been a lot of brass. You're a nice man.
Please address it from. Gosh, we don't have a team name. We need a team name.
We do.
I could just address it from Jerry.
Right, but it's more of a group project. You see, I'm just the one who does all the work.
And he glances over at Angara.
Very amused. Very high key. I mean, she's just letting this go, watching it play out.
Just do it from your sincere vagabonds.
Your sincere vagabonds.
Correct. She'll know who it is.
Damn, sincere vagabonds might be what we have to go with. I like that a lot.
All right, very well. I will get her a plant.
Perfect.
And then he just kind of nods and goes back off on his way.
Thank you, Frederick.
You're a good man.
He's very confused.
Well, I feel like this was a well worth adventure of our time. That was quite amusing.
I like to pad my social responsibilities wherever I can, so when I screw it up later, there's that little bit of padding for me left.
That is fair. That's a good strategy. I usually just bat my eyelashes.
Some of us aren't that graced with appearances.
You sell yourself short.
She blushes.
All right.
Well, that's all the business I had at this blessed orchard.
Wine!
Has Temsin
We go on a wine
met up with
tasting.
them?
Oh my god, yes.
Like,
Huh?
Has Temsin met up with them yet?
We just
If
start a
you-
montage of like
yeah,
us
you would've-
drinking all the
You
wines.
would have
Like a
gotten up
training
to them
montage,
about
like
the
it's
time
like
that
the Eye of the
Frederick
Tiger.
was walking away.
Okay.
Jimmy, we're gonna train you how to drink wine.
My goal is for that receipt to go back to Jimmy. He gets terrified or he's confused. Because Sabina somehow, just she enjoys things like this. She's like, oh no, Jimmy, that bill's for you, buddy. I don't know what happened, but now you gotta spend like 300 gold. I mean, geez, what are you gonna do, pal?
You're an awful person.
Anybody need Doritos?
She never
It's
said she was a
great.
good one.
Alright,
but
so
I would like
in
some
your
more
alignment.
credits.
You are literally chaotic good.
Yes, good fun.
all right. So what
I mean,
is
she's getting somebody a gift. That's a good thing, right? Arguably.
what is Temsin up to?
So Temsin's just gonna catch them at the.
Yeah, they're still in the blessings orchard.
Okay.
What is around here? Do I get the feeling this is a religious place or is it just beautiful?
It's just very, very nice. Like these trees are older.
Lush.
There's like an area where they've got like grapevines growing and stuff like that.
Me too.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
I want my disc.
Hello, ladies.
Honestly, Angarod
Cool, we
would
got it.
probably feel very at home here.
Yeah, this is very like.
This is meant to be beautiful, meant to be decorative, as
Mhm.
well as useful, specifically for. It's almost like an advertisement. Is how nice it is.
Oh, for like their wine tasting.
Mhm.
Is there a pond or a body of water in the?
There's a well.
There's a well.
Mhm.
Okay.
There's a large, really beautiful, like upkept well.
She's quietly appreciating and in awe,
Mhm.
as would be appropriate.
Where did that guy? Who's the brother that we could go get the enchanted stuff?
Ephraim?
No, we've got to go to the
That's right,
Merciful
Merciful
Knight
Knight.
and ask him if he knows of anybody who does like enchanted items.
Oh, I see.
Mhm.
Yeah, I need to bring up my AC as well. As a cleric, do I have to get enchanted things or do I have to get armor? Or both?
You can do either, I think.
I think it could be either. Yeah.
Can he enchant my cup to make me?
Well,
Oh
she
my
said
gosh.
she said to speak with Ephro to find someone.
Mhm.
She didn't say that
Oh.
he could do it.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, let's go talk to Ephro then. I need to build my AC unit.
Um,
Florida.
Temsin's gonna head with her, but he's gonna keep track of time so he's not late to the blacksmith. So if at a certain time I realize I need to go, like, I'm gonna go.
Okay. So you guys go ahead and head down to the Merciful Knight.
Mm-hmm.
So you get down there. It's getting closer towards midday. And there are a couple people in here, like you see a couple people who are clearly travelers. You know, they're dressed as if they're ready for the road. And a blue-haired tabaxi woman comes out to greet you with these long swishing skirts, and she like offers you a very graceful bow, and she says, "Hello, it's lovely to see you. Can I get you a room? Can I get you a table? Can I get you a drink?"
Would the room come with you in it?
Oh.
Heavens, no, it would not.
Forgive my forwardness. You are a very lovely person. Thank you for bearing with me. Do you happen to know if there is a place that we could find Ephron?
Oh, Ephro, yes. Ephro, you have visitors? And she goes back, and this elf man comes out from a back room, kind of like brushing his hands clean and like wiping them on his like pants a little bit, and he definitely looks like Lavend. They have the similar skin tone, similar like hair color, similar like bone structure, but where Lavend was very stiff and very like almost formal, he's very relaxed and very like, "Hi, how are you? What can I do for you?"
Does he have a girlfriend that looks
EFFRO.
EFROUX.
Ah, in the French.
You
This
said
is Adrian,
EFROUX.
EFROUX.
Yeah, okay. And what is the sister's name?
Lavend.
Lavende. LAVENDE. She was the alchemist.
Is,
Okay.
I guess.
Was what happened?
And so he's just like, he's all smiles.
Oh. Well, we were told that you would be our man to find someone who could enchant things. A bloodhound of sorts.
Enchant. I might be able to help you. Zara, did that gentleman, did he decide to stay? And she's like, she peeks out from like behind the counter. She's like, what gentleman? And he's like, the gentleman with the hair, and he did the thing
The
with
gentleman.
and she's just like looking at him, and he's like, he wanted to stay in town a little while because people might need him, and he had like the really colorful clothes. And she's like, "Oh, yes, he decided that he was going to work with the tailor for a little while." And he's like, "That's the one. Yeah, he's working with the tailor.
Oh my
He's
god,
this
do we have a Gilmore?
he's this elf guy from what are they called? From Adgord. This elf guy from Adgord. He's amazing. He does great work. I don't need any of the work, but yeah, he's working with the tailor, which is just down the road if he's still there. But
Is this Oz?
Hmm?
Who is this guy?
you don't know.
No, so,
He's an elf gentleman from Adcord.
right. Dang, we gotta go back to whence we came.
Well, it's fun.
Do you have a name for him? What's his act? Do you know his name, sir?
What did you say?
Troops are waiting.
Um,
Oh my gosh, yes! Perfect. Perfect.
Well, the tailor's name is. You're gonna love this then. The tailor's name is Laurent, but I don't
Yes.
know what his name was.
Perfect. So it's just an elf man with long, colorful coats from Adgord.
And he's got like crazy. You'll find him. He's great. I think his hair was pink the last time I saw him. It was real cool.
Okay, thanks for that very detailed description.
Not phased. Angarad is not phased at
She's
all.
like, I will find my blood.
Tamsin's like, okay,
And
that's
then
normal.
Ephro's just looking around, and she like, okay, is there? Can I help you with anything else? Or
Do you know, is there a place in the town, we have not been here very long, I'm afraid. Is there a place in the town where someone could purchase items that have already been enchanted, maybe? Something, magical items, things of that sort?
not that I know of.
Alright, no worries. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, of course. I'm here if you need anything. I think we have yeah, I think Zara, you're singing tonight, right? And she's like, yes, I'm singing tonight. If you'd like to come back later, most of us seem to have something going on in the evenings. Is there anything I can get you to eat or drink, or
Imgrad's like walking up to her, kind of bows a little, takes her hand. It would be an absolute honor to come back and hear your lovely voice. Gentle
well,
Hitch.
thank you very much. And then Ephro looks absolutely delighted, and he's just like, you're not gonna get anywhere with that. And she's like, please, Ephro, please. And she's like, it was lovely to meet you.
Why the fuck
Lovely
do I
to
keep
meet
picking
you all.
people who are like either committed or gay? Oh my god.
Or very, very straight, apparently.
Or very, very straight.
Or Demi.
Or what?
Or Demi.
Fair. I mean, one of these times.
You got Cade.
One of these times my arrow will land its mark. Ever. And don't make any physical contact that couldn't be misconstrued as other than friendship.
Knowing that this
We're
isn't
both
gonna go
reading
anywhere,
our own
she's just.
receipts, Reagan.
Tamsin, gonna look for strings of fate. Neglected threads. Excuse
Go
me.
ahead and roll.
My text was on.
12.
You find a button.
What kind of button?
A brown.
You find
A round.
just a little metal button.
Oh wait, no, that's just the pen.
Oh, yeah, it's just a button.
I keep saying son of a cuss word.
What did you, Sierra? What did you roll?
Do I have to roll twice?
Yeah.
15. Oh wait, no, 19 and 17.
What was that for?
Secrets.
Oh, okay.
Also, let me go plug my phone in because it's, of course, dying.
Oh no.
It didn't want to hold its charge at all today.
What is the point of having a super high charisma score and being
That's what I
flirty
asked
as fuck if I can't use it anywhere?
Yes, it flatters people. You make people feel good about themselves.
Okay, so
So when we like look at people up and down in friendship.
So Zara and
To see
Ephro,
how far in the city it's gone.
Zara and Ephro kind of like bid you good day,
I said good day.
and
Is it Zara or Zara?
Zara,
Zara. Okay, that's what.
a blue tabaxi.
Yeah.
Ah.
I don't know who this person is that we're chasing after.
Um.
I know who it is, but I can't.
You don't know who it is?
I don't.
No.
I'm like I think I know it's this.
Nope.
Well, I guess we best walk on over to the tailor.
How long has it been
Yeah.
since I left the blacksmith?
It hasn't been long at all.
Okay, then I will continue then to the tailor.
Okay. So y'all are like doing circuits of this city. Like you guys are like rushing around enough that people
I figure
are.
it's kind of like Renfest. Like you go and you see stuff that you like the first time around, and you're like, oh, that's cool, and then you go do other stuff, and then you backtrack, and then you go further, and then you're like, I wanted that one thing, but maybe it's sold out, and then you have to go back. Like I figure it's kind of like that.
Bam.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right. So yeah. So you guys go ahead to the tailor.
Okay.
And the front sign, which looks like it's like just a wooden sign, now has like fabric wrapped around it, but it's like this really gaudy purpley gold fabric,
Of course.
and it says "Designs by Laurent," and then in very small like hand painted letters it says "En Gasparmont," like really
Gasparmont?
Gasparmont, yeah, like
Gasparmont.
really small lettering.
Not my Christian home.
I just used a name I knew. Alright, so you guys go ahead and head in. And you hear a bell chime. And then you see this brown haired, elven gentleman come around and he says, yes, hello, welcome to Designs by. And then, like, this man just barges out in front of him and he goes, hello, and welcome to Designs by Laurent and Gasparmont. How can I help you all? And he's like, you have to stop doing that. Please, stop doing that. He's like, I cannot help myself. And then he's just like,
And Sophia claps a little.
he's like, see, they enjoy it.
Bonjour, monsieur. It's very good to see you.
Bonjour, madame, and he like just elatedly like rushes over and like gives your hand a kiss, and he's like, how can we help refit you from those clothes you're wearing?
Do I recognize this dude?
No, you don't.
Okay.
Do I recognize him?
You would recognize him just because you've been on the road a lot more.
Okay.
So you've seen a gentleman that looks like him. Like this is a very tall elven gentleman with shockingly pink hair and pink eyebrows. Like it's definitely not a normal hair color for him.
Right.
But like it almost looks like if you look close enough, it looks like he even has like pink eyelashes, and his clothes are just like every bright color that they can possibly be. You see like streaks of blue, and there's gold, and like bright silver buttons, and like really dark like royal purples, and every just bit of him is just as gaudy and almost tacky as can be.
How do you spell his name?
Gasparmont. Gasparmont.
I'm gasping.
Gasp for more.
What?
I know, but I'm saying gasp for more. He will make you gasp for more.
Oh my.
Yeah, if he doesn't.
Oh, racy.
I didn't name him that.
Well, I am actually not quite in the market for an outfit change. I am wearing traditional garb of my house, the Germana. But,
Mana house. Très bien. No. Do not tell me you're Ankarad. And he's like, oh please. How
Mary?
long have you been gone?
I say... Oof.
Why does he know him, but I did not know who Angarad was?
You led a sheltered life, my dude.
I should know her.
It has not been
Yes,
very
no.
long.
Okay.
It has not been very long, but long enough that I am missing home. It is welcome to see a face of Edgard as
Oh
yourself.
yes, I will be sure to write my sisters. They will love to know where you are.
This would maybe not be
Oh
quite as
no,
well.
no, it'll be wonderful. Ah, they always need things to talk about. That is not me. Now, please, what can I help you all with?
Edgard weathers this with grace born of like years of having done this shit. We were possibly in the market to have some things enchanted, and we were told that you might be able to do it.
Oh yes, it is my specialty. See, Laurent, I knew that someone would come for me. And so like the other elf is just like, if you need anything, please just let me know. And he like goes back to like work with some things that he's got behind the counter.
It is beneficial then that you are specialized in enchantment. I am unfortunately not quite in that realm of magic myself, but I have heard great things that are possible with the help of that brand of magic. I look forward to seeing what you can do.
Well, yes, that your house doesn't seem like they're as trained as they should be, no? And he's just like, I'm so sorry. Yes, what is it you would like?
Tenzin's gonna walk around Angarad, just be like, oh, aren't they just so good at insulting each other?
I'm going to cast
Okay.
on this man because he's making me mad. I'm going to cast Calm Emotions on him, which is basically Charm Person,
Okay.
but like at level 2.
Okay, what does that do?
He basically is charmed, and he is under like
Yeah.
that kind of spell.
You have to roll for it though, right?
No, it's a charisma saving throw on his part.
Okay.
He has to save 14 for charisma. It lasts 1 minute under my concentration. You might just do what we want you to do, dang it.
He wins.
Ah.
Yeah, no, he he like looks like he just kind of like shakes his head a little bit. He's like, my apologies, I got a little lightheaded. It must be because I am in a room with such a celebrity. No, he's like, now what enchantments would you like?
You know, lightheadedness can be brought about with untoward and unchecked use of magic. Possibly something to look into. Anyway, we were looking at potentially some enchantments for some things that my friend could make. I believe he was interested in it, and as well as some possible mage armor. My other friend here is a healer. She specializes in creating things and helping her friends, but she's squishy.
And he like kind of glances you up and down. And he's like,
And she goes like this. Excuse me. I had something on my face.
Wipe a little harder. I think it's still there. And he just kind of like wiggles his shoulder, like, hey, and then he like glances over to Temps and he's like, and what is it I can do for you, my little friend?
Oh, he's a little friend.
Well,
How does he stay in
I was
business?
really just interested in the type
He
of
doesn't, that's why
items you
he's
could
wondering.
enchant and types of enchantments you do.
I can do most things.
I would be particularly interested in something that could provide protection. That wouldn't necessarily be armor.
Protection, that's not armor.
Yes, you see, I'm
What
versed
if-
in hand-to-hand combat.
What if you let me just do what I do, and then you pay me for my work after?
No.
That sounds shady AF.
That sounds like an excuse to do magic that you are not familiar with. You could not possibly be covering up an experimentation. You are sure what you are doing, correct?
Of course I am sure.
Then why can you not give my friend an exact outcome?
Because it is magic. If everyone had an exact outcome, then we would not have the display, would we?
My whole country wouldn't negate all of what you just said. There's a science to magic in its own way.
There is no science to magic, it is an art. And then he's like,
Yes. Tell me, how long have you been away from Agborn?
I've been traveling for some time. I
That's
like to
hard.
see the world.
I agree. I've been to quite a few places. What have you picked up during your travels?
Picked up how?
Skills,
AIDS.
materials. Did she really say that?
What do you think?
I hope not.
And he just kind of glances at Sabine.
Yikes. Yikes.
Just... Oh, were you
She-
talking to me? I was reading my book. It's a highlight.
It's a health book
I'm a
about
doctor.
healing specific diseases.
I can make you a protection spell on something you wear, but not something that you insert.
Oh my god.
Well, I would hope it wouldn't be inserted.
You haven't met the people I have.
Apparently
but my
not.
age joke was too much.
I mean, yeah.
And well, if I was going to pay money for something, I would need specifics. My
You're taking on
I
the French,
can
it's
make
funny.
going all over.
I can make you something that is
His French comes out.
protection against
He tries so hard to
ice
deny his
magic.
heritage.
Yes, I can make you something that is protection against the cold. You'll never be chilly around that one.
Cold hands, warm heart. What can I
And
say?
what can you do as far as enchanting jewelry?
Exactly that. If you wear it, I can enchant it.
Yes, but what kind of effects could you give jewelry?
You really are giving me too much to work with.
Okay, say I had a pair of earrings and I wanted to make them a little bit more flashy. What could you do?
I could enchant them with a light spell. When you utter the same word over and over, it produces a bright flash of light and blinds everyone. Doesn't that just sound delightful?
think perhaps you've left Adgord too prematurely in your studies. And Tenzin just disappears. He's unentertained.
Did you want something or did you just come to insult me?
My dear, it is a game that you definitely started. And it is just a game, no? Between us, it is like the beginning of friendship.
Of course. Nothing like life or death, though.
Mm.
And then he's like, well, if you have nothing for me, then I must get back to work.
I would be interested in seeing. Gaspamo, what did you say is the name of your house?
I did not.
And you will not give it to me?
Not when I stand here and be insulted
I
by the
find
people you
myself
call
at a
me.
severe disadvantage. You know my name, you know my legacy, and yet I do not know yours. How am I supposed to trust your work?
Gaspar Montalvois.
Would I know it?
You would.
Okay.
Can I perception check the crap out of this man?
Yeah.
Are we called Adgordians?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you would know the Arlois family. The Arlois family had a son who decreed that everyone was beneath him that he was trying to apprentice with. And so he struck out on the road, taking a bunch of Edgordian almost like secret spells, like the training that they've given to the mages. Like he took that with him. Yeah.
Ah.
So Tenzin's
I see.
familiar with that as well.
Yeah, you would be familiar with, but like this isn't how he would normally look. Like he has changed his
Right.
hair and his clothes over
Very.
and over and over and
Trying
over
to
and over
hide
again.
something?
I see. Is he like an actively wanted person in Adgord, what I know, or?
No, he's not actively wanted, but it's one of those things like he's welcome to family dinner, but they would prefer he didn't attend.
Yeah.
So Tenzin's just gonna pop out from like behind him.
You're gonna have to
Okay,
roll
roll
stealth.
stealth.
Yeah,
Alright.
you're gonna have to roll stealth because you keep like doing this kind of
Well, I just kind of like walked away, disappeared, but I was still listening.
Mm-hmm.
I just should clarify that. Let me see. 14.
He would have seen you. It wouldn't be like popping out like.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll just walk out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Gus, we're just at Guardians. We're just having some fun with you.
You might be, but your friend.
Is reading.
He's gonna like nudge him on like the knee because he's short. She needs to have her tea. It's very special. She's got some. Don't worry.
She is not Adgordian, no? I wish you to know that this was a game. It is alright.
So uncivilized, though. No
Mm.
games, no style. Look at
Yes.
her clothes.
As if she never received any form of training at all.
And he's just like, well, if you need anything other than the jewelry, why they be screaming?
I can't answer that
Do we
question, but I
need to
don't.
call someone?
I'm like, do we need to call? I'm calling the police.
Respect.
Is that we?
Well, that didn't
That
sound.
didn't sound like a fun scream.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I don't know. I thought it was like screaming at each
Yeah.
other.
I'm almost wondering if we should just call like in a noise complaint.
Right, just for the sake of.
Well, it's too early.
Is it?
Oh, it's 9 o'clock.
Well, you can, but I'm just saying, like, because they usually don't do
Yeah, the
anything
cops
if
usually
it's
don't do
before.
anything before 10 o'clock.
I would. Why don't we wait another
Yeah.
moment or
I
two
don't
to
know.
see
I
if there's
mean,
another thing? And then,
They holler if they're
I would
allowed.
say they yell a lot, like when they're having a good old time,
Okay.
There's
like their
3
go-to
dudes that live
thing.
up there, and they usually get drunk on the weekends. So
and they just hoot and holler like that.
Okay.
I did.
Did you perhaps have anything that you could add enchantment-wise? I seem to find myself continually coming up against things that are a little bit stronger than I am physically. Do you have anything that could perhaps strengthen the cloak that I am wearing? So provide me a little bit more protection.
That's easy. If you leave it with me for a day, I can have it done by tomorrow.
And what would you think your rate would be?
25 gold.
And what kind of protection would this provide her?
More protection than she has now.
In what specific way? I know my specialty in casting relies mainly with the things bound to the elements. Uh, would would I gain protection from something elemental, from specific magics, from piercing?
I could do protection against piercings, if you like. No more tears in your cloak
Hmm.
from wherever you choose to wear it.
Tamsin, are you going to leave anything with our friend Gasparmo?
I don't think at the moment, no, nothing quite that I was looking for.
I would like to give you a challenge and see what your skill level is, but I don't know that I want to do it for that price. I could potentially go and buy a pre-enchanted cloak somewhere else for that price, and I believe that you know that. Maybe we call this a wager. I give you the cloak. I give you 15 gold to start with. We see what you come up with.
And if it's good, perhaps you'll get some more business.
I'll take your wager. I do so miss the games. And he like holds out his hands.
Okay. Um. This.
Listen,
Hey, I'm not trying to cheat anybody out of their commission. I just know that all of his qualifications are falsified. So.
And he's a D-bag.
And
Yeah.
he's
True.
not fun.
Wait till y'all get to Adcord.
Uh-oh. No.
Ken's and I were talking about it. We're both just like, eh.
Yeah.
Safina's gonna be in her own personal hell.
Okay, then yeah, she'll go ahead. She has. Angarad has kind of her family garb that she's been wearing
Mm-hmm.
as she goes through this. Just like the family colors, her crest is in a few places.
Mm-hmm.
She has her family stuff, and then she has like an outer cloak. She's not gonna give him anything with the family stuff on it.
Okay.
Because that's not for him. Like, he shouldn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just gonna take her outer traveling cloak that she uses to kind of blend in and be more inconspicuous than usual, and she's gonna hand that over along with 15 gold.
Okay.
I look forward to seeing what you can do. I have heard many things of you, Gaspard Long.
And you, madame. It's lovely to meet you in person. So then he like carefully folds up the cloak around the money, and he's just like, Laurent, I have work to do, and he just like flounces off into the back and like bangs into something on the way, and Laurent is just like now standing there, and he just is like,
Is
my
Laurent from Adcourt?
apologies.
Is Laurent from Adcourt?
He doesn't act like it for sure. He's this whole time, Laurent has been just standing there like counting to 90. Like he's just been working and like he's just been like sewing something
I'm
and
just
like
making dead eye contact with him. And I'm not blinking. I'm just like,
he's just like, can I help
is he a
you?
cousin or?
No, I offered to take him in as an apprentice. He paid well.
He paid you to become an apprentice?
Most do around here.
May the gods bless you.
must be very skilled.
I need to get rid of him.
Forewarning. I know of him from my town. I know of him just on word of mouth. I would not trust him around many things that you hold secret and private.
He tends to.
I thank you for the warning, miss.
He doesn't. Because I would know that he doesn't like. He travels a lot, right? He bounces
Yeah.
around a lot, so
Yeah.
I'd be able to advise him in that.
Mhm.
He has the reputation of bouncing around a lot, so you may not be stuck with him for too much longer.
Oh, that sounds good.
Angarad's doing this mostly out of like morbid curiosity. Like she wants to see what he's been able to teach himself.
Mhm.
And also because he insulted her house's magic, she wants to see what he's
She
actually
wants to insult his
capable of.
house's magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It didn't go over well for her that he did that. Okay. I believe that I am finished. You are a tailor by trade, yes?
Yes, I am.
That
Is there
is
something I can do for you that he's not going to make explode?
I do not believe so as of this moment, but I will definitely keep your name in my mind. If I find that I have any projects that I need completed, I will see if I can find you, no? And not all of us are like him. Many, but not all of us.
I appreciate this. Thank you.
Crimson Vowels as well.
Have a lovely day then. What is he? Gaspar, what are you doing? And he like goes into the back.
I'm going to head to the blacksmith because Fitzum is probably ready to go, and Safine is, Safine.
My name is Sophie.
I know, I was just about to say, it's like, that's not.
Sophia?
Sophia, thank you. Sophia is probably close to being done. So, I'm gonna head back to the blacksmith.
Alright. I would finally like to go get some wine.
Okay.
Yes, you probably need a glass after all that.
Alright, so
Sure.
let's go ahead
Let me tell you.
and we'll pop
He
over.
left his family. He left his magic. He left behind everything that he had that he could possibly claim because he thought it wasn't good enough for him. I would tell you this. If I had the chance to do some of the things that he had the chance to do, which I did have the chance to do, and I did it much better than he ever would have, he should not have been as ungrateful as he was, le bâtard.
And this is before the wine.
Sophie looks
Yes,
delighted.
well, it was,
On the outside of the place, I'm gonna draw a penis by his name.
Go ahead and roll stealth.
Can I
there's
assist?
no-
No, I'm not assisting in that.
I get a
I'm
one.
making
You
a
got a
scene.
It was cocked, but it was a one.
I'm like making a scene.
Well, if it's
Does
cocked,
that
you gotta
help
roll
at
it.
all?
No, that draws more attention.
Damn.
Like, there are some people who see you doing this, and then they, like, stare at you long enough for you to, like, make eye contact with them, and they slowly nod.
Oh, good. Yes.
But as you're, like, drawing this on with, like, your kind of, like, quill pen or whatever, you accidentally, like, stab through material and, like, rip it.
Whoops.
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Is there any advice?
But yes, his,
Okay.
I've not personally met him before, but I've definitely gone past him in travels. He's a certain, definitely a certain type of person.
Oy.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and jump over to the blacksmith.
Okay.
So you get over there, and Sylvia has like a little ball, and she is just repeatedly throwing it and yelling, "Get it!" And then Fitzum is like, but Fitzum's looking tired. She has been doing this for a while. She has the energy of a child, and she's just throwing this ball for a dog over and over. And Sophia comes out, and she's like, "Oh, all right. So I have his measurements, and I have your quote."
Great. And what does it look like?
Well, it's just going to be your basic, basic dog armor, I guess. Just
Oh, I meant
just
as far as,
thinner. Just it'll go over his legs and over his chest. It'll still have room for you to ride, but he'll be mostly protected.
Okay, and what degree of protection would you say this will give him if we were talking in a point value?
It'll be better than what it is now. Not by much, but it will be better. Otherwise, he'd move too slowly to be of any use.
Right, and what do you estimate the cost will be?
About 25 gold pieces.
I can do it. Fitzum is definitely worth it.
Alright then, give me about 3 days. I've never made dog armor before. I want to make sure I get it right.
3, okay.
I just realized I don't have any armor.
Yep.
I have 0 armors.
Yep.
I should go get some. Very squishy. I refuse to pay Gaspermont a single dime.
Mine
Unless
was
it's poop, in which case I will pay him handsomely.
How does she
Mine was
normally
hate
do
money.
payment? First half up front, half when it's completed, or
Offer what you offer and see if she accepts it.
you said 25?
Because when Remember did it, Remember just like paid her and then was like, have at it.
Yeah, that's what I'm at.
Yeah.
Tons is not about that.
Yeah.
Wait. Sorry.
Did we all go together, or is this just your solo trip?
He hopped over to the blacksmith, and y'all, I think, were headed to the winery.
Please.
Oh,
true.
I would have gone to the black, but it's okay. I can just circle around and come back.
Do you want to?
I'm sorry.
Do you want to just say that you're
You would
there?
have gone to the blacksmith over the winery with me?
Well, after Gasperont treated her the way she did, Tardothians are very honorable into who they buy from. It's like you buy from one person and you like them, you buy from them forever. It doesn't matter when, and that guy was a dick. So she's like, I'm not spending a single doll hair on that man. So she's going to the other lady.
Okay, so we'll say that you're
Oh,
there
you're
too.
getting armor.
Yeah.
You're there with
Use it for treat.
Okay.
Not
Temden.
treated.
Sophia, do you do
Layaway.
payment up front? Do you require payment at the completion of the project?
Whatever you're the most comfortable with. Half up front is fine. I'll do what.
Well, how about we'll call it 12 gold now, and I'll pay the rest when I see that the armor's complete and works well.
Sounds fine.
Alright, so I'll give her 12 gold.
And so she accepts the money, and she's like, "All right, then that'll be 3 days."
I'm sure I'll probably be in here before then, but that sounds good.
Oh, right. I won't have much in the way of new stock between now and then, but
Oh no, I'll probably just be in with my comrades.
all right. And Miss, what did you need?
I've been told that I'm a squishy healer, so I need to be protected.
You need to be able to move quickly.
Correct.
Very well. Sylvia, go get the tape. And so Sylvia runs off to go get the measuring tape, and she comes back and she starts she's just like, all right, arms up. And she's just taking each of your measurements and she's just kind of nodding to herself, and she's like, yeah, all right, I probably have something around here that would work for you. Give me 2 days from now.
And how much would that cost?
Are you looking for scale mail, plate mail, or just whatever I think would work?
I trust your expertise.
All right, that'll be, let's say, yes. Let's see. No, that's in the lid, bud. We'll say about 20 gold.
Okay, she just pays her in full.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anything else I can do for you all?
Nope.
All right, then. Thank you for your business. I'll see you both in a few days.
Go get drunk.
What? What?
All right.
What?
So y'all
I don't
head.
even like
Oh,
wine.
wine.
Time to get drunk.
Oh yeah, should we, did you
So-
want to go meet up with
All right. So
with
back
Amrad?
at Angerod, Angerod goes into this inn. Is Remember still on the farm? Is Remember still on the farm? All right. If you're going to spend the full day training with Archie, go ahead and mark one inspiration point for you, and I'm gonna mark one down for Archie and Jade because you're training with them.
We gonna meet up at the winery?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay with this
I'm
being
gonna
short,
get some
but like.
Get drunk.
Okay. Jade, Archie, and
She's gonna go on a wine rampage.
Remember.
Tamsin has questions.
Meanwhile, Sarah, all me and Hillary can name was like, I am gay, I have AIDS, and I'm new in town. Like, there's no single guys left in White Flag.
I know someone who's new in town.
Literally, that's all.
What are 3 other things about
That's
him?
just what Hillary leans up. She goes, there's no single guys in White Flag. I was like, yes,
So
perfect.
we have a wine cooking.
Okay.
There's no single guys left in White Flag.
All right, so back at the Silver Needle Inn. It is just as beautiful as the orchard is. There is the same plaque that was on the gate, and there's actually like
Have I
some.
been here before?
Hmm?
Have I been here before?
No.
Okay.
There's the same, but you were over at the orchard where it's the same kind of setup. But there's like grapevines painted around the door. Like this whole building is just like beautifully done. And when you enter in, like it's well lit. Compared to like the Boar's Head Tavern that you were in, that was definitely a tavern. This is very much like there's upper clientele here. Let me just double check real quick. Yes, there is upper clientele here. Like the floors are very clean. Tables have like little cloths on them and stuff like that. And you're greeted by an elven woman, and she comes up and she offers you a bow, and her black hair is pulled up into like this really tight ponytail, and she says, "Welcome to the Silver Needle Inn. Can I get you a room?"
I was more interested in possibly tasting some of your wares. I heard that the wine from this area is quite riveting.
Yes, ours is quite good. Let me get you a table, and she like guides you over to like this like very nicely done up table. There's a couple like empty wine glasses, and she's like, "Is there anything that you perhaps had a taste for?"
What do you have on offer? Do you have any specialities?
How about a flight? It comes with 5 of our finest. I can do our reds or our whites or a mix of both.
Do you have anything more on the side of a rosé or something like that?
Something sweeter.
I thought she said Jose.
Yeah, it sounded like that.
I
Yeah.
was like, whoa.
Yes, let me get through that. Just a moment, please. That is
Aesthetic
going
moments?
to be. That will be 4 silver.
Civil.
And she goes off and she comes back with this very small plate, and it has like a couple like fine little cheeses. It has a couple like little meats on there, and it has 5 varying shades of wine, and one is a very soft pink all the way up to like a deeper red. The patchouli board. She sets this on the table and she says, "All right, well, this one is our smoked apple wine. It's not actually smoked, but I let one of my brothers name it. So go ahead and let me know what you think. I'll leave you to it." And so underneath is the card, and hold on, let me scribble down these names real quick. So one of them is called the smoked apple. One of them is a coast to sunset.
Oh.
1 second.
Mhm.
I'm amending my personal fund. Also, I love that you just have names prepared for this. It's very good. Okay, go for it.
So there is the smoked apple, coast to sunset, Leminsa red. One is just called curl, and it says sharp next to it. It just says curl and then sharp. And then one of them is just called passion blossom.
What was the
Is the darkest one. So they go in like lightest to darkest. So it's smoked apple, coast to sunset, Leminsa red, curl marked sharp, and then passion blossom is the deepest color. And then you have like your little fine cheeses and Yeah.
She brings this back herself.
yeah, she brought this back herself.
welcome back. These look like fine selections. Which one is your favorite?
I am particularly fond of the coral. It lingers on the tongue. It's a surprising finish for such a sweet wine.
This is.
It's like red Fanta.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Of course, if you need me, I'm Miss Yen. And she like just waltzes off.
My poor
Cienenn
She
or
said her name was Misty. Yeah.
Oh, Misty. Mist.
Mistienn.
Yeah, it
What?
sounds like the potion challenge from Sorcerer's Stone. Yeah. Yeah, Angrad's just gonna drink her wine and revel in being in an environment like this without someone insulting her.
Okay. So you guys enter in, and it's definitely nicer than any place you've ever been in this town so far. Um, it's probably equivalent to the jewelry store, like in terms of like what's there and stuff like that, like how the lighting is and stuff like that. And you see Angrod in a corner with her little board of meats and cheeses, and yeah, that's you enter in, and the same elven woman steps up to greet you. Dining or a room, or do you need both?
We're with her.
Very good. And would you like the same thing?
No.
We'll need a moment, please.
Of course.
Thank you.
And she just goes off to like speak with a couple other people that you see who are like reclining at these tables, like they're speaking in low tones, like they're trying to be fancy. Like this is the place people come if they want like fancy brunch.
Excuse me.
I love the briar patch.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Just sipping on my wine, having a good old time by myself.
And just
Oh, that looks delicious. How is it?
It is quite good. I am particularly fond of this one, the curl. She recommended it. It is very good. I'm usually not a fan of the darker, sharper wines, but this one is quite good.
Sounds nice.
Yes, it has some earth tones. I think I might taste. Yes, these grapes were grown in the summer.
For each one of these wines that you drink,
like we don't
please
have
roll
grapes.
a d6 to find out how drunk you're getting, because these are not weak wines.
Excellent.
She's like,
So you're going
Also
to need
known
to
as
roll.
Pearl's gonna fuck your shit up.
So you're gonna need to roll it 5 times.
Perfect. Excellent. Very
so
good.
when she's like,
First
I
one's a 2.
Okay.
Second one's also a 2.
Okay.
That one's a 1.
Okay.
That's a 5. And that's a 4.
14.
Sabine's like, we don't have grapes. In
You're
Pearl."
you're definitely you're about as half as you could drunk. You're about as half as drunk as you could be with that wine.
This is
So
fortified wine.
so
It is very
it's
good.
like your shoulders are pretty relaxed. Like you'd definitely be like on the warmer side, but you aren't drunk.
I'm gonna take a picture of Reagan's because she was like looking off. I was gonna be like, when will my husband come back for more?
All right.
So, outside, I would know of the house that she's from. Correct?
You would have definitely heard. Now that you've heard her last name, like
Okay.
now that you know which house she's from, you would know the story of what happened to her house. Has she told you out of
No,
character
see,
what
we
happened?
haven't discussed anything about Adgord or like houses. I didn't know
Do
there
you
was like a
have-
house thing set up. That's why I was like, shoot,
Oh,
I need to
well,
talk to you
there-
about Adgord.
Let me see.
Because I was like, oh snap, I think I need to sit down and have a discussion with Sarah about Adgord because there's a bunch of stuff I do not know that I probably should know.
I love how we've been together for literally like 2-3 weeks. We still don't know each
Well,
other's last names.
no, like a week. You've been together for a week and a day.
That's a long time to not know someone's last name that
Not
you've been sleeping
really.
with.
I think
Well,
it.
Well,
Who's
not-
been sleeping with whom?
I mean, not in such a way, but in a
I
platonic way.
don't know how much you would know being a little bit sheltered, but like,
Oh no, he'd know that. I'm gonna text it to him though.
oh, okay.
Oh boy.
Well, no, yeah, because like I grew up in Agord, I knew a lot, so I'm really familiar with their traditions
Okay.
and that I would these houses and stuff. So,
So you were like a freaking like Amish person living in.
No,
no, I wasn't.
no, they have more of like a tiered nobility.
Oh, okay. I was about to
So-
say because I'm just imagining like a parish being like these hooligans out here indulging in finer things.
No, because actually the church kind of supports, like, the nobility is based on, like, this is the magic we can do that's super flashy and showy and great, and the church is based on magic as well. So, like, just depending on what branch you're in.
And now that you know her last name, now
What is your last name?
Kaimana.
Kaimana?
Kaimana.
Is that one of the houses?
Mm-hmm.
I need
That's
to list
one of-
these houses
That's
for you.
that's one of the like higher houses.
The
Can you
houses.
spell that one more time?
Kaimana.
Sabina's just like, there's wine now.
Yeah, like I'm just here watching things.
Yeah,
How many
I'm
houses
sharing.
are
I'm
there?
not, like, just
I'm
keeping
sorry.
them.
Like, I don't want to go. I
No,
won't
no,
take
no,
up a lot of
you're-
time
no.
with this, but how many
No,
houses
you're
are there?
there are roughly a dozen
Okay.
higher houses, and she's up there in
We're the pure bloods.
Okay.
basically, yeah. And so now that you know what her last name is, you know exactly who she is.
Okay. Interesting. Tibbs is not sure how to proceed with this information. Especially since she's tipsy.
This bastard has been taking some of my patience away. Flouting magic the way that he has. But this has been a good day. We have accomplished many things, no?
Yes, we spoke with Una, and we're gonna have. I cannot get this accent right. I'm trying, guys.
You're good.
We're going to have a meeting with the Lord Commander, which is good. That's very important.
Should be good.
As she said, she believes she's seen him with one of those jewels. So it's very likely that that's a key part in whatever's going on.
Oui, certainly.
You know, I've getting some armor for Fitzum.
That would be adorable. Very cute.
Well, it's more so for practicality's sake.
Oh, yes,
but
he is a fearsome war beast, but he will be very cute.
Yes, I wanted him to be safe. In case we encountered any buffalo.
Yeah, I don't really have anything plot driven to do here. I just kind of wanted to come. So.
She
Yeah.
wanted to be fancy again.
Yes, she wanted to be
You
fancy.
know,
again.
we met a douchebag from our homeland.
Yeah, we.
The subtle hint of, I know who you are.
I should not have bandied about my name as I did. I have a little bit of a regret about that at this point, but
And forgive me, I was not aware of your house.
oh, it is no problem. It is a bit of a non-issue at this point.
Well, my condolences, and I'm very happy that we are working together.
Thank you. I appreciate.
I don't know what's going on.
This is the first time it's been addressed since she left home. Like, she hasn't been recognized very much since she left, so this is rough.
It is not something that I intentionally kept, but you understand it is a fresh wound.
Yes, I understand, especially with the traditions of Adgold but
You mean the hypocrisy of all of the houses around me? Yes. Yes, it is
well,
not an easy situation.
no, but I hope that you will feel no shame around me. I do not judge in regards to those silly manners.
Hey Daniel, check your phone. Okay, so as you all are speaking, and Miss Yen comes up again to see if you guys need wine. And she's standing there for a minute taking your order, and she's like, "Is there anything that might interest you?" we do have some ales and a few stronger beverages. And as you're speaking, you hear a piano start to play
Fuck you.
in the back of the room.
Straight off. Oh my god. Fuck straight off.
It's gonna be the cat lady.
No, it's an elf woman with similar features to Miss Yen, but she has like huge, fluffy white curls, and she's just sitting there very properly, like playing at this piano in the back. And no one really seems to like turn and pay any attention to it. Miss is like, "Can I interest you in anything else? Were you just joining her for the day, or?"
Angrad is not paying attention to any of you at this point.
Um,
She is focused on that piano, and nothing is
At the
going to
moment,
make
I
her stop.
just came to check on my friend. So I probably will not be purchasing something. I don't know how much longer, but we won't take up your table too much longer.
You're welcome to enjoy yourselves.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day. And then she like goes off. As I fuck up one of my players. I waited 7 sessions. 8 sessions. I waited.
Angrad,
Happening.
Angrad.
whatever is left in the cups in front of her, she tosses it back. No savoring. There's no like. She's up until this point. She's been doing it as one does a wine tasting. None of that. She tosses it back just to get the alcohol in her body. Stands up and leaves.
What is happening?
I'm not sure. I feel as though perhaps I should tell her to make sure she's okay.
Okay.
So
Yes.
Tenzin's gonna like sneakily like in the shadows kind of just follow behind and keep an eye on
Roll
Angrad.
stealth.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll perception versus.
Do you want this to be perception, or do you want it to be?
That's a natural fucking 20, my dude, so.
Or did you want it to be
I
passive
got
perception?
15.
Either way.
Okay. No. She would see you.
Yeah.
She's gonna turn around. I appreciate your concern. Because I would like to be.
And Tenzin just kind of nods and
She's gonna go find that orchard again.
stands there and watches her walk away.
Uh-oh.
And
Like we
so-
lost her.
I wonder if that was because of the music.
Can you hear us okay now, or? Okay, you can go ahead and turn the video off. Alright, so you go ahead and go back to this orchard. And how many of the stones do you have with you?
Two of them. That's right now.
You've had these with you for a week. Your dreams have not been nice. Even with the hush hush, you've been keeping it so close to your body that what you heard the first time that you picked one up, especially right now, it just sounds almost overwhelming. You still can't make out what's being said, but it sounds like them. And they just sound so angry. And the more that you try to focus in and hear just that little bit more, just the more that you focus in, it's almost like following someone down a hallway and they keep moving away from you. The harder you listen, the harder it is to hear them, until all you can hear is just the sound of their voices, but nothing is actually being said. And that's where you are, in the orchard, by yourself, with the voices of your dead mothers ringing in your head. Sabine and Tenzin, what are you up to?
Just swallowed half a candy corn. Woo! Glad that went down.
Well, I've got nothing left to do, and I'm not gonna follow her, so I guess I'll just go home and.
Okay.
Yeah, Tenzin's just gonna
All right. So
follow back to the barn.
leaving Angrod wherever she went.
He didn't follow!
Yeah, no, he didn't
respected.
follow. No one followed. So leaving Angrod wherever it is that she fled off to, Safine and Tenzin make their way back to the farm, where they find Remember. By this point, she's training with herself because no one can really keep up with her. Like this is what she does. So Jade has gone off to take a nap. Archie is gone off to take a nap, and he's like nursing blisters that he's never had before. And you find Remember in the yard training with the dummies she made.
Ooh, did my receipt come yet?
Hmm?
Did my receipt for Jimmy come yet?
Not yet.
Remember!
Oh, not punch.
Oh, no, I was like, I want to go check out the bounce pool.
Yes.
What?
Yep,
Weird.
now we can hear you like you're sitting here. Okay, so Remember sees Tamsin and Safine come back without Angerod.
Yep.
You suck.
Well, I put in an order for Fitzen's armor, so that's good.
And I
Yes, me too, and hopefully he'll be much more protected if we come upon wolves or something like that again. Well, how about you? You're training with some lumbermen. A wooden dummy.
a lumberjack will.
But, well, she needed some alone time, she said, and she seemed very serious about it, so I didn't follow her. In hindsight, I'm thinking that was a bad idea. So much.
Yes.
Yes. It's not night, is it? Is it night?
No, but it's definitely getting towards like early afternoon.
Perhaps we should go look for her. I'm gonna run up and go, do you know where you're going? Um, well, hold on just a second. Tess is gonna pray to fate and ask where to go.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll for it, or what do you want me to do? 'Cause he has a suspicion.
You could just tell Remember like, hey, this is where we were today, or this is the direction she left in. Like, we wouldn't tell her that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, because he had a suspicion, but like he doesn't know, so that's why I'm just gonna ask fate. But, well, see, she really enjoyed the orchid, or the, what's it called? Orchard today, and she really enjoyed wine, but she left the wine place, and the only other places we went to today was the Tellers, and she hated that place because of gas. Man, what a douche. Anyway,
I just imagine Tenzin yelling all of this as he's running after Remember.
and then we were at the blacksmith, but she has no reason to go there, so she seems pretty happy at the orchard. But did you have somewhere else you wanted to check? Okay. Is that okay? Did I play that out?
Yeah,
alright?
you did great.
Am I like cognizant at this point, or am I just completely overwhelmed?
That's up to you. It would have been about 40 minutes by this point.
Roll to see
But
if the wine is worn up.
By this point, you would have just been, that whole, like, focusing in, you would have been, like, really trying. So, it's up to you if you're aware of, like, what's going on around you or not.
So y'all come into the orchard and you see Angarad, and she's kind of
on her knees underneath one of the trees, and she's sitting there holding the stones, and she's not super responsive.
Uh-oh. Like in her bare hands?
Oh no.
Remember?
Actually, she probably the hush hush is probably she threw it.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
She
because
didn't-
if
The
she's
little like dream catcher thing. She said
She
she threw
doesn't
it.
have the little ward thing.
because she's trying to follow
Like,
it.
do we see it on the ground? Like, that you threw it?
You don't. Well, you could perception.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah, let's try to
perception
look
on
at
But
that.
it's pretty small. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a small. It's a small.
Oh, wait, you
object.
came with us?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know we had that.
Sophine's just
La
following
la
along.
la la la.
Whoever's perceptioning, roll with disadvantage because you would just be.
Right.
You don't know that you're like looking for anything in particular.
Well, that was not meant to. So I got 12. I don't see it. Anybody got a better roll?
Okay.
Remember?
So no.
No?
Remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's not.
You guys, she has two stones in her hands. This is not good.
Well, I'm just gonna ask her for them.
So ask her.
And Angarad? Not responding.
No.
Angarad, I need you. I'm going to take those stones from you.
You can't take them with your hand.
She has a shirt that she's gonna scoop them up with.
Okay.
And she's not responding to any of this.
No.
Okay, I'm going to try to take them from her.
Would she be responsive enough to, like, grab back, or is she like just loosely holding them in her hands?
I don't think she'd contest it. I think you could probably take it
Okay,
pretty
so
easily.
she's gonna like take her little part of her shirt and scoop them up and like toss them in her like coin purse baggie and just like tie those up.
Okay.
She sits for a second. That's good description. She sits for a second. You see her process, and then she just loses it. Like she's just bawling.
Aww.
Okay. So, do
I
you guys go with her?
I might cast calm emotions on her.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cast calm emotions on you.
You have to roll a charisma saving throw.
Knowing that she's been using the hush hush,
8.
would it be
So
within
no.
reason for
I just
Tenzin
put
to
you into a calming state.
to
Do
ask
you think it
what
would?
is on her?
Well, that's on your character. Like that's on
Okay.
you.
Ah,
Do you
shit, did we just lose
if
the hush
he
hush?
like if he sees her
Oh,
like
no.
having this thing with
Right.
the stones, like would he
Well, that's the thing.
be more worried about her, or would he be asking like where's the hush hush, what's going on? Like
Well-
that's up to you and your character.
He'd be being neutral. He'd be worried about the situation and like the stones and knowing
Mhm.
like what he's been warned about, and then seeing her in that state and knowing like the only thing that supposedly can fix this is the hush hush.
Okay.
And like according to Angrad, anyways, like that's what he's been told. So
Mhm.
he's like, why isn't this working? Where is it? Like, isn't it supposed to be on
So,
her?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, I don't know how to pursue it.
Did you beat the calm emotions, or did she?
No, it was successful.
Okay.
Are you alright, Angrad?
Hold on. What does
It's like charm person, so I basically just calmed you down. I just decided to tell you to be calm.
Yeah, it's just a
You
second.
were
It's
so
a second
concerned.
level charm person
Yeah.
spell.
Okay. It is really funny.
Listen, you need to take a hit off this and relax.
And she's just passing a joint like every
Where'd the
time.
wine go?
It's
It's
in
in
the
the
fridge.
fridge.
It's on the door.
This has
Oh,
been
that's this.
a very bad day. I want to go to sleep.
pulls back and forth and remembers arms.
Do you have the hush hush?
No. No, I don't. I don't know who did. I'm sorry. I was weak. I
Well,
gave in.
it's important that you're okay, that we found you. But we need that, don't we?
And then she zonks out. She is unconscious.
Remember, you're going to be okay to get her back to the barn. No, no, no! I know you're completely physically capable. It was just more of like offering support, you know, moral support, or not moral, emotional, like, just, you've got this, right? Good. I think we need to find that hush hush, because if we're going to be meeting with the Great Commander tomorrow, it's going to be very important, especially having the stones on us.
Sierra, roll a 20.
16. I'm gonna buy another pouch.
Yeah.
Put them in instead of my money pouch, because I'm not gonna be like, yeah, let me take some money.
Yeah, you definitely would be uneasy having so many of them close to you right now.
Gosh.
But you wouldn't be hearing what you heard before.
Right.
But you would hear whispers.
Yuck.
Because you've got 2 of them on
Right.
your person,
Right.
unprotected.
Right. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna go. Can I leave you to find the hush hush?
I will stay here until I find it.
I will come back in once I've gone to get a baggie.
Well,
I need
if
a
you need
Ziploc!
to take that to the farm and put it somewhere safe,
She like
do
squirrels
that.
it away under the ground.
I will stay here and look around until I find
I'm actually
Una's
gonna
brother's answer.
go back to the tailor, unfortunately.
Oh.
Okay.
I know, he who shall not be named. But I'm gonna go to Laurent.
Okay.
I'm not going to Gaspermont at all.
So,
I know.
so Laurent looks up as you come in, and Gaspermont starts to be like, "Hello!" And then he sees it's you again, and he's just like, and then he like goes back into the back.
Good.
Laurent's
I know.
like,
Perfect.
Lock him up.
"Stay here. What can I do for you?"
I need a pouch, like a money pouch. But can we somehow get it lined with lead or some magical containment fabric on the inside?
That's easy enough to do.
Perfect! I need it expedited today!
Today.
Like as soon as possible. Immediately.
All right. Well, ahead of everything else, I can have it done before I close. It will be 1 gold.
Perfect! She like...
Just the size of a money pouch.
Yes. No, get that. Get it!
Shoot.
Dang
I lost it.
For the people listening, we're hunting a mosquito.
Alright.
Perfect.
How big are the stones?
Yeah, I was about to say, are the stones?
The stones are small, like they're only like that big.
So if I had a money pouch, would it fit a good couple
Yeah, it
of
would
them?
fit a couple of them.
Okay, yeah, so let's...
Yeah.
Like 3...
Hold for sure.
Like a half dozen? They would hold like half
It
dozen?
would probably fit about 5.
Something like this.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect,
Yeah, you're looking at something like the stones I gave you?
Right.
That's the stones.
I don't even want half a dozen on me like that, but you know, if we need to,
Yeah.
that would be perfect. Perfect! Thank you.
That's how
Yeah,
big
this
they
is
are.
perfect. This is
Awesome.
perfect.
So then, yes, I would like a money pouch, sir, as soon as possible.
Yes, certainly. That's completely doable.
Awesome.
I'll see you back here before closing then. I close just after sundown.
Okay, great. I will be here.
And he pauses and looks at everything he's doing. He's like,
oh wow.
and then he kind of like shoves things out of the way, and then like goes off to like get more like fabric, and he starts cutting shapes out and all kinds of stuff.
Nice.
Now, hunting for the hush hush. You said you're going to stay until you find it.
Pretty much. Like he's like pretty intent that they need that.
Roll a d12 with what is your perception?
My passive.
Roll a d12 with advantage.
Okay.
Well, actually, just roll a d12 twice. You're trying to get a lower number.
A low number.
Because that's how many hours it takes you to find.
Oh.
Ooh.
I want that. Wait, am I taking the higher or the lower of the
The
two?
lower of the two.
5.
Takes you 5 hours.
Oh my god.
Alright.
So for 5 hours, Safine has these 2 stones on her without protection. And it
She's
takes
like
about that long until sundown. Because you started looking for these, early mid-afternoon.
Dang it.
It takes until roughly sundown for you to find that hush hush in the grass, in the dirt. You finally find like a partially it's kind of like broken a little bit, but you finally find it. And Safine, you go ahead and you get your money pouch, your lead-lined money pouch, and he's like, yeah, it took a bit of doing, but managed to sort it out for you. It should work.
Perfect, you're a gem.
You're very welcome.
Like that.
Alright, so she's gonna like go in private
Yeah.
and like carefully just toss them into the pouch and shut it and tie it tight. Does that do anything?
You start feeling better immediately.
Oh, good. I love a cure for anxiety.
There ain't no more whispers.
Does Temsin meet up with her about this time?
You would have, yeah, if you would have, where were you when you, like,
I would have gone back to help him.
Okay, yeah, so you guys kind of group up and, you now have this hush hush again. You have the stones contained in a lead-lined little bag, and Angarod and Remember are up at the farm. Is Angarod still asleep 5 hours later? Yeah. Angarod's still out. Remember's doing whatever Remember's doing. And, yeah, so what do y'all want to do?
It's nighttime now, basically.
It's just after sundown.
I am super hungry, so I'm gonna eat food.
Okay.
She's just gonna go and make tea and eat food and be done with it.
Okay.
Oh.
Love all the Bane shit.
Oh my god.
I love all the stuff that is like come from all of it. Anyway, so yeah, so you guys get back to the barn and John looks worried and he's just like, your friends are upstairs. Is everything all right?
Yes. Yes, everything is good. We had a bit of a crazy day today, and everybody's very tired, and...
All right. Well, before you do anything tomorrow, be sure to clean out my cart.
Yes, I forgot.
What
about
happened
that.
with his cart?
Okay. Okay, never mind.
There's all the bloody.
They took his cart and they carted off like bear carcasses
Jesus.
and spider carcasses. Like a giant ass spider was in it. Like if
I
no one
forgot
had
about
cleaned,
that.
like when it first got back, he was probably like, "What the fuck did you do to this
Exactly.
cart?" But yeah, no. If Archie like cleaned it, then that's great.
Did any
He
receipts
gets another
come?
badge.
Yeah, right. Did any receipts come for
It's a cart
anyone?
cleaning.
Dang it.
Cart detailing badge.
Okay. So
So Thames is gonna go to Remember. How's Angarod doing?
I still fucking zonked, my dude.
she is completely
You've
unconscious.
just been in the room with her, so you're just kind of like checking on an update. Yes. Well, unfortunately, with those stones, they definitely do no good. So, but luckily, I found this, and I pull out the hush hush, and I just go over and I just set it down, like right next to Angrad, like right, like either I don't know, there's like somewhere where it's kind of like propped up against or something, so it's there, and I'm kind of like not sure because it's a little bit broken. I'm just kind of hoping that it works. So I'm just kind of like,
Oh, it
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Broken.
um,
Yeah, it's just
Pretty
a little
much.
dream catcher.
Would it be a torn thread then, or like a piece of broken wood? It's a piece of broken wood.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take out a piece of red thread,
Okay.
and I'm gonna hold the two pieces together and wrap the red thread around it, and then say a little prayer to fate,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm gonna put it on Angrad
Okay.
and just
Great.
like bow.
Good. Good. Yay. Good. Okay,
That's
great.
real cool. I like that a lot.
Okay. So, what are y'all doing now?
I want to nap until we can go fight stuff tomorrow and then meet the Lord Commander.
All right. So, are y'all going to bed then?
Yeah, what time is it?
It's after sunset.
Yeah, I think Angra probably just sleeps through it, to be honest. Like, she's been carrying these things for so long, and she's been dealing with all this shit, and it came to such a head, like, she's just...
Okay.
She has to recover from it.
Just me. Yeah, I guess Tim's gonna go ahead and just
Okay. So
take
everyone's
some
going to bed.
food, eat some food, and then call it a night. He could go
Yeah.
train, but
Okay.
he's not going to.
Then can I have everyone except Daniel leave the room?
Oh, where are they gonna go?
All right. I'm gonna mute you, babe.
Into Sigma's window.
All right.
Wait, me too?
You can stay.
I'll prefer it here.
Yeah. Oh God, I've been waiting for this.
You know me. You know me, I
Also-
won't say shit.
I need to
Up,
remind
up, and
you because you told I
away.
made note that you said to remind you that I did a day of training.
Yep.
And that I need to go over that with you to make sure that whether it was like XP or however you wanted to calculate, we had to go over like how you wanted to calculate what the training did.
Yeah,
But
we'll do
we'll
that
do
after.
that.
So, Temzin goes to bed,
Mm-hmm.
and Temzin, normally you meditate, you kind of just calm your mind. Tonight you sleep, and you sleep hard. Not only do you sleep, but you see a figure in your dreams.
Oh crap! I better start taking notes.
This faceless figure is turned away from you. And what do you do?
I'll softly take a couple steps towards the person.
And they just kind of turn their head over their shoulder.
I'm not to like see their face or.
You can't see a face. You can't quite make out a shape of a, like you recognize the shape of a person, but you can't quite make out like if they're a man or a woman. You can't make out how old they are. Every time you think you see their face and you start to like see a face, it like starts to change again.
Do I have any type of like sense about this person?
You sense that they hold nothing in renown toward you. They nothing overly good, but they also don't wish you ill.
So Temzin's gonna take out. Well, in his mind, he has his thread on him that he was given, or like the thread that's on his arm, and he's gonna touch that and bow, and just say hello, in kind of like a questioning way.
And they turn, and suddenly your vision is full of red. Just red. And the thread on your arm begins to burn. And it starts to burn so badly that you wake up. And it feels like someone has wrapped rope around your entire body and just seized it and burned through it. And when you frantically push your clothes back, like you push the bedclothes back, you find that you have these red cords of like a burn scar wrapped around your arms, stemming from your bracelet, all over your body, everywhere under your clothes. It's not on your hands, it's not on your feet, it's not on your head. It's just your entire body is covered in these ropes of red.
And they're there. I'm not just like seeing it, but it's
like you,
these
like,
red.
and they're still slightly sore too.
Oh gosh. So
So it's still the middle of the night. The house is still quiet.
Tenzin. He, Tenzin's like, it still hurts. He's in pain.
He's
a
in
lot
pain.
of pain.
It feels like someone burned you.
And it, like as if somebody took like a hot metal cord and just wrapped it around my body.
Yeah.
And now there's just like red.
And now there's
burn
just
marks.
these red burn scars all over your body.
So Tenzin's gonna. Is there a place where I could like easily access like a bucket of water? Is there like an easy source of water?
There's like a washroom down the hall.
Washroom.
Yeah, that they usually have like a basin of water in.
So Tenzin's gonna go to the washroom and try and like ease it with the water and see if it rubs away. He's gonna like wash his face to see if he's like seeing things. Or...
The burn like calms, the feeling of it like definitely lessens, but it's still there, and it's still like even after the pain has faded, it still looks very red and it still looks very angry. But yet you have these red cords of scar wrapped around your.
And like, is it up around my neck and nowhere visible?
Nowhere visible.
Wait, but didn't you say it was on his arm?
It's on like.
Well, he wears a robe.
He wears a robe.
And he has like arm wraps down the
Yeah.
robe, and then he has a red threaded knot.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of where it originated from, and it went around his body. And you said it's in the middle of the night.
Middle of the night, no one else is awake.
Tenzin's gonna sneak out.
Okay.
He's gonna head to the temple.
Okay.
He's very worried. He's trying not to be, as he's supposed to stay neutral. But in this moment, he knows he has not experienced with anything like this before, right? He's never heard any stories.
No, there's no stories of this. You've never heard anything like this.
Right. He doesn't. Yeah, he's kind of freaked out in the moment.
Okay.
And he's gonna sneak out and go to the temple, looking for guidance.
Okay. All right. So, are you going to stay there overnight then? Is that like you're speaking with them? Like it wouldn't be like a short visit. Because we're talking on like
Probably.
We're talking like 1 or 2 in the morning kind of thing.
Yeah, he doesn't really know how long he's gonna be there. He just is like, I have no idea what to do. I need help. I'm freaking out, and I can't freak out. I need help, and so he's just like, I need to go talk to somebody.
Okay.
So he's gonna go talk to somebody who might be able to help him.
Okay. So you're greeted at the temple by one of the toes.
Okay.
Greets you
and I greet them.
Yeah.
And they see my armband, and I'm gonna is an arm in?
most of them are asleep. I can speak with someone for you if you like.
Is specifically Dalen in?
I can fetch him.
Could you please?
Certainly. And so he like.
Thank you. And I bow like super courteously because I understand like it's in the middle of the night.
Yeah, he goes off to get Dalen, and Dalen comes back and kind of like rubs his eyes a little bit, and he.
And I like
you and
full force like waist all the way down bow.
Like,
and like.
Is everything all right, Damson?
I don't know. Can we speak somewhere privately?
Yes, we can go to my chambers. And so he like leads you off.
Thamson's still not sure if what he's experiencing is real, so wherever they go once they're in the room, he kind of just
like there's like a small single bed, like he's got like a little desk there, some books.
Right. He's not gonna say anything because he's just doing this to see if there's a reaction. He's going to roll his sleeves up and back and like make his arms visible. Tenzin still sees the red marks?
Yeah, they're still there.
Okay.
Like, they don't hurt anymore, but they're still there.
Does he notice
and
any...
Dalen kind of, like, gives a little start and is like, what did you do?
You see them?
Yes, I see them.
I had a very bizarre dream. And that is why I'm here, because I needed help.
What kind of help?
Help with this. And then I just like kind of like show that it's on my legs and on my back. I had a dream, and in the dream there was a figure without any form of identity. And I said hello. And when I did that, everything went red. And I felt my body begin to burn as if there was a hot coil wrapped around my body, emanating from my knot.
And then he like kind of like holds out his hand like, and he starts like studying your arm and like turning it around, and he like kneels to study your legs.
And when I woke
just
up,
like following the like
Like,
line of it. Yeah, they just like they coil like all around your body. Yeah.
and when I woke up, I was in pain, and my body was burning, and I had these lines, and they hurt, and I didn't know if I was seeing things, if it was real.
And then he finally like rolls up like his sleeve, and he shows you where like his red thread is, and it's bound around his arm. And then he like pushes your sleeve up a little bit more, and sure enough, like one of the coils like matches the band of his, and he's intrigued as he's studying them, and he takes a step back, and as you're like babbling and like going on and on, he finally just like raises a hand. You are bound by fate.
Well, yes, I
No.
made the oath.
Tamsin, our bands can be removed if we decide that fate is no longer our master. Your bands cannot be removed. You are bound by fate, wherever it leads you. Right? And I do not know whether to pity or envy you.
Has this happened before?
Not to any of my knowledge. I'll try to find someone higher than myself and speak with them. This is not something to be ashamed of.
Well, it certainly didn't feel good.
Fate doesn't always.
True. So what am I supposed to do now?
Wherever it leads you. You follow fate.
Well, I suppose I've made the oath to do so already, so I guess this is confirmation that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
And he like takes your arm again, and he slowly unties the red thread from around your wrists. He coils it up in his hand and he hands it to you.
That's like really bizarre.
Yeah.
That's never done.
No.
And so Tenzin just kind of like takes it and looks at it.
Keep that as a token. But your marks are lasting. Just as our mark. And he like just kind of like rubs a hand against his tattoo. And he's like, just as this mark is lasting, so are yours.
But
and
mine are all over.
And he like kind of follows it, and now that it's like cooled and like it's not hurting you anymore, and you can like really take the time to study it, and you watch as he like guides his fingers along it, it doesn't just look like a mottled spread out like scar, it looks like a braid. And it's all over your body. And then he takes a step back and he bows and he says, go with fate.
And Tenzin just bows as well. Says, as for you.
Okay. Alright, so do you head back to the farm? Or are you gone for the night?
Temzin's gonna like just take his time walking back to the farm. Just pondering.
Alright, but you'll be there in the morning?
Yeah.
Alright. Okay guys, come on back!
Crap. Oh gosh.
Welcome back! Let me go get them from the...
My life has been wrecked.
Welcome back.
Ooh, did you just do that? That's awesome.
What is it? What did you do?
You don't get to see it.
Oh, it's so pretty.
What is it?
I love those.
One of her little mini.
One of her
Oh
little
my
mini
gosh.
Did you have fun?
I don't know if I would say that, but
Hillary's in the corner, like, shrieking. He wrote, like, The House.
Oh, I read The
That
House.
one was bad.
That one was so creepy.
Alright, so, come the next morning. Y'all wake up. And y'all wake up.
Oh, good.
Tamsin is taking a bathroom break, too. Calm down from the adrenaline.
Angrad, I guess we'll wake up and is the hush hush still with her?
Yeah, the hush hush should still be with you.
Okay.
Tied with its little red thread now, like, where you can clearly see, like, it was broken at some point. Is Remember still with Angrad? So, you wake up to find Remember in your room.
Remember. Good morning. Killing me. What? Thank you. For treating
Yeah, coffee exists.
Angrad has never had coffee like this before. Because even when I will drink the commoner's coffee. Even while she was traveling, she made room for like the finer amenities, like little taste of home. So she's never had coffee quite like this before. So she takes a sip, and like her nose wrinkles without her even controlling it. But then she remembers like her manners and what her mom's taught her, and so she's like, "Yes,
Thank you. Remember, this is something special. Ah, yes. Quite. Okay.
anybody else?
Thank you.
I just got something."
Okay.
There is not much to say, I don't think. I was just weak. I could not get past what the stones were influencing on me. It brought up memories that I would rather have forgotten.
Does this man say Harry Potter? Oh shit! I guess that is what we're doing, huh?
Thank you, remember.
Surprise! You're
We're going to Mordor, bitches! Get in the car!
So, Tamsin is still
I
sleeping.
can't carry.
Okay.
I don't know what happened while I was in the restroom, but Tamsin's
No, they
still
just
asleep.
they're like talking in the morning kind of thing.
Okay.
Thieves.
Also, I do this because it's better than holding the milk with your fingers,
No.
or holding the cookie and the
I
milk
don't
with your
agree.
fingers.
Don't agree.
It's easy.
It's weird.
It's
I've seen it. I've seen it done before.
Yeah,
But
that's what we were snickering about when you were like, "What is going on?" She saw me doing it, and
Yeah,
she
no,
was
I
just
knew
like,
that.
and I was like, whatever.
Do I have to show Reagan what I normally do
Yes,
with
show
cookie
Reagan.
sandwiches?
Kitten.
Mm-mm.
Hi, Kitten.
It's like pay
You
more
want to
attention
go back
to
to
me.
your
Oreos are
house so I can
dangerous.
play with your kids?
Side note, not to throw us off track, but I had what I think is a brilliant idea for a movie. So you know how movies always follow like the heroes?
Mhm.
They're always the chosen ones, and they
Uh-huh.
always get like this special endowments of power from like their gods or whatever. Like, what if you did a movie that followed a group of adventurers, but they were never the chosen ones, and it was always them watching the other groups that were bestowed with power, and they're like, man, why couldn't it be me? Like, I worship that god. Why did they pick me? Like, I'm cool too. And it just like follows this group of misfits, like trying to be adventure heroes, and they just never get chosen.
Excellent.
And back to the game.
Okay, so y'all are in your room. Tamsin is still asleep.
Yeah.
Safine, what are you up to?
Wait, what time is it?
Well,
It's like it's not quite dawn, just a little
Oh, yeah,
after.
nope.
so
Like,
my
Just-
armor's not ready.
No.
I guess I'll just. Oh, is my receipt there yet?
not yet. It's
Dang.
like it's the morning.
Yeah,
You
excited
didn't even
about
ask
that.
how long it would take.
Oh, true. Dang it, I might be dead by then. Jimmy's gonna have to pay for it when I'm dead. Well, I guess I'll go down to the bounty board and see what they've got going on there. I want to pet that cat.
Same.
Nice, good job, bud. Okay.
Lucky step.
So it's super early in the morning. Are you waiting for anyone, or are you just heading down to the bounty board?
Going to the bounty board. And then I walk.
As you yell down the hallway.
Yep.
Okay, have fun. Bring back something good.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see. So you get to the bounty board.
How long is a long rest? I mean,
The long rest is overnight. It's 8 hours.
okay.
Yeah, I get more spell slots now. I used all my spell slots for my level 2 to charm the crap out of people.
Okay. So there's still something about that cave that was mentioned. There are notes about possible bandits on the road between here and Adcord.
I get the cannons.
Nobody likes a bandit.
There's a couple other smaller ones. Like there's more bears over here and like stuff like that. But those are the ones that stand out.
Well,
just, just this doped up Sabine just staring at the mountain.
and she hasn't teed up yet for the day, so she's just like,
Gunmore's just standing there like nursing a cup of coffee. He's like, "Morning."
morning. I'm bored.
Bored. I see what you did. And he's just like sipping his coffee and staring at it. He's like,
She's like, I wish I would have drank my tea this morning. Well, one more. None of these appealed to me. And then she just leaves.
"Goodbye then." And he just like goes back to like his normal job and stuff. He's like still like brushing out his hair with his fingers and stuff like that. And
That doesn't seem that fun.
Tenzin is gonna, once Tenzin wakes up, he's gonna kind of like look around the barn to see if the farm, to see if there's anybody like still around and what people are doing.
You see John and Lacey out with Jimmy, like working in the field.
Okay. Is anybody else still at the farm?
I think we'd still be there. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
Jade is like dressed and like up in a tree scouting for something. Archie is like in the kitchen, like mimicking washing dishes and like staring at like a pile of dirty ones that John left for him, and he's like, okay, so you do this, and then you don't break that, and then you do that. Okay,
Oh, wow.
great. And he's like psyching himself up to wash dishes.
Tenzin's like, no, Jesus, okay. And then, he's gonna go check on Angra.
Okay. So you go in to find Remember and Angerod awake in Angerod's room.
Sipping really bad coffee.
Just sipping.
That's a very remember sentence. Order them to tell you about their feelings. Angrad's just kind of dodging a little. Like,
A little.
doesn't want to talk about it. Skillfully weaving my way through the conversation, as an Adgordian does.
So Tenza just knocks. Hello?
Tenson, good morning.
Good morning. How are you feeling this morning?
Much better than yesterday, thanks to you, I understand.
Well, I don't know about me. It was all of us, but
Yes, all of you. I am grateful that my path in life has brought me to you. I think that this is a good place for me to be.
I agree. And
I'm concerned for Sefino. I understand she took the stones. If I am stand to nothing else, I stand to show that one person should not carry that burden alone.
yes, no, she had them for a little while I was trying to find the hush hush, but she went and got a lead-lined pouch for them.
Huh?
And she said that she was all right after she put them in there. So
Does that completely, mitigate the effects? She can't feel them at all anymore?
It made her feel better than having them close by.
Okay.
But she
So-
didn't actually make skin to skin contact with them.
But I do think we need to be more careful with the stones and
I agree.
make sure everybody in our team is safe.
I agree. I think anyone who has not touched them as of right now should not touch them moving forward. And I think that they should stay in the pouch that Sefin has commissioned. I think this is a very smart move. And perhaps those of us that have touched them already can rotate them so that one person does not spend too much time with them in contact.
I
I
feel
think
fine.
that's a good idea.
Safine is like marching back to the farm at this point.
And perhaps, hopefully, we'll figure out whatever's going on with these stones, and we'll be able to put them behind us and move forward.
I agree.
Do you feel up for the dinner this evening with the Lord Commander?
There is very little that could stop me, my friend.
Ooh la.
And I don't know, but the hush hush was slightly damaged when I found it, and I did my best to repair it, but I don't know if it will work.
Can I tell,
Anymore.
just looking at it, having it near me, can I tell if it's still functioning?
It's still functioning.
You have done a very good job, my friend. It seems to still be working as before.
Okay, good. How are you doing, remember? Did you get any sleep last night? I just basically asked how you were doing and if you got any sleep last night. Bean drink?
World's best cup of coffee.
Congratulations!
Crappy cup of coffee?
No.
It's the world's best cup of coffee.
10:05.
It is just a crappy cup of coffee.
Pause while Reagan goes on a Googling spree.
It's called black bean juice. Thank you anyway.
Well, we have most of the day until we are scheduled to meet with the Lord Commander. We could go take on a bounty. We could scope out the rest of the town.
It'd be nice to make a little bit of change and get a little bit of action in.
Yes, we could go. The cave is still an option. The one that Ari brought us past.
Ah, yes.
Cave, bears,
I feel
bandits.
Did
Bears.
Sabine just march into the room and say this?
Excellent.
Yep.
I'm sorry, what?
Cave, bears, bandits. Bandits are kind of far. Cave's kind of meh. Bears, we could do 6 seconds, no damage.
I mean, killing some bears is rather easy. That's pretty easy money for us.
I'm not opposed to this idea.
I feel like the caves. Something about caves just makes me feel like it's gonna take a long time, you know?
Okay. Two bears then?
The bears!
Let's say-
bears.
The bears. The bears.
Remember, how do you feel about maybe hunting some bears before our meeting tonight?
We could get some nice
look,
bear steaks
she's
to
got one
present
right
to the Lord
there.
Commander.
You already caught one!
I'm going to hunt
One
those
more,
bears.
we're
But
back
you already
in
have it. You
the
don't
So-
have to
buddy.
hunt.
So y'all head back to Bunmore.
Yep.
And yes.
Tamsin checks on himself. I forgot to mention that in the morning.
Yeah, no, it's still the same.
Okay.
Can I? Is there anything noticeably different? Like.
No.
Okay. Well. That's sneaky as shit.
Hillary was like flailing. It was very
Well,
I
funny.
didn't look at you because I knew if I looked at you, I was just gonna start laughing, and I was having a hard time not just like.
To be fair, I did not react until one certain spot, and then it was also because I thought I knew what was going on, but I was wrong, so it's fine.
All right, so we make our way
Howdy, board.
to Bunmore.
Mm-hmm. All right. Huh? Blackstrap.
Yeah.
Nice.
One more, we are back for more.
And he's like, at this point, he's like got a toothbrush and he's just kind of like brushing his teeth and he's like, ah. And he's like,
Bears.
and he just like gestures to the board and he's like, you guys got this by now.
Which direction are the bears?
And he like spits into like the cup that he had been drinking coffee from earlier.
Oh my god.
And he's just like, oh yeah, those are northwest of the city, I think.
Angrad is not impressed. Ew.
And is there any accounts of how many?
I know it's big.
Or how much?
Just one bear, and it's a big bear.
Yeah. I'll give you the same as before. I think it was what, 400?
I believe that we got paid 400 for two.
Don't say that. What do you mean?
400 for a big one sounds fair, especially in the time that we do. It's record time.
I'll start keeping track then.
Nobody bears faster than us. The nameless bunch.
Well, that's fair, but our other options are to go explore a cave that no one knows anything about, or to go outside of the city, like a long way, to fight some bandits we don't know where they're at. And we have to be back tonight for our dinner date at precisely 7 p.m. washed and dry.
Yeah, I was about to say, we've got to be washed and clean.
It's still the morning.
I mean, we can go check out the caves if you guys want.
I would vote caves personally, but
But what if it is a more ferocious bear? Eh,
I mean, we can go explore the caves. I'm in for the caves. It's just we got to keep an eye on the
time.
sun's position.
from inside of the
On
cave.
my sundial. You wanna buy a sundial, kid?
We'll have Archie stand outside the cave and tell us what to yell. The
Oh.
sun is 3 fingers.
Alright.
Like
So
that
what are
idea.
you gonna do?
How much is the cave, Bunmore?
100 per head for whatever's in there.
What kind of?
And all we know is that people go in, but they don't come out.
Yeah.
That's what we know?
I think so.
No, you just know that recently, like, a couple people have gone in and just, like,
I don't
haven't,
know this.
like, they haven't come out. Like, they
We know
sent
what
people in there to
happened
look,
last
Right.
Like they've sent people into the cave to look around, and they haven't like seen anything. So
I would, for the sake of safety, because we have to. Our freaking meeting with the Lord Commander got pushed up a week, and if our ass is in a cave for God knows how long, and then we come out all dirty and Una's gonna kill us, like, or we get into that freaking house situation again in a cave
How
this
far are
time,
the
part two.
bandits?
the bandits weren't like the bandits were being discussed yesterday, and now they say that they're like in between here and Adgord. They've had issues.
Like we'd have to go hunt them
Oh.
down. Yeah, we don't know where
Yeah.
they are.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't make more sense to go after them. That's like a couple days quest, side quest. Well, what do you guys want to do?
The bear.
Ah, bears. Okay.
Alright, we'll go kill a bear.
Go kill a bear.
Okay.
So, we head out of town.
So you guys, he kind of like marks your name down, and you head northwest out of town. You head out the north gate and start heading around. Go ahead and start looking for the bear.
Is that a survival check? Where's our tracker?
Yeah, I think that would be survival.
Do you want all of us to do it?
Whoever's looking for the bear.
Investigation?
I got a 9.
Survival.
What is survival?
That would be
17.
like checking the surroundings and stuff
Right,
like that.
but what,
Wisdom.
it's a wisdom?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
Oh, never mind. I got 13.
13.
15.
17.
17.
Okay. What did Remember get? Nice.
Yeah, of course she does.
So Remember remembers what Archie told her about the surroundings and kind of took what she already knows and applied it. And so Remember would be seeing these things as if they were screaming at her. Tufts of fur and paths through the underbrush. She sees bear droppings and signs of something eating. And while Angrod sees all of this too, what Angrod misses is a couple smaller tracks around it. And as you continue through the underbrush, go ahead and actually no. Hold on. Actually, everyone would be able to pick up the sound of snuffling and bear noises. I don't know how to make bear noises.
Rawr.
Everyone would be able to hear bear noises and hear the snuffling and hear like things like stomping around. Um,
Wait.
Wait, hold on. Are there babies?
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
You do hear that familiar little.
Oh, no.
Angrad is gonna.
So
Yeah, Angrad wouldn't. Not if there's
Yeah.
babies.
Can we relocate them, though, so they're not causing trouble?
How are you going to relocate? We just read Elisha. You want to really do that?
Yeah. Listen, if it's causing trouble in town. We don't want to kill them, but we don't want them killing people, so we gotta relocate them. We just scare them somewhere else. Or, like, corral them somewhere else. We've got a giant, like... We got somebody who can make a giant even more giant. Bears are afraid of things that are bigger than them.
How close are they to like main road type area?
you guys have been walking less than 2 miles.
Oh, they're real close.
Yeah.
I say we try to push them along somewhere farther away. That way we don't have to hurt them.
Can I use thaumaturgy
Do what you
to,
want.
like, direct them? I'm gonna just try to, like, rustle a path, basically, so I can Like a brother bear situation where I was like, hello, you must leave now.
Bears, remember who you are.
Yes, I'm gonna try to rustle. I'm gonna try to, like, sheepdog herd them away as far as possible with thaumaturgy by rustling, like, bushes and wind and, like, pushing them. I'm going to try to, like, corral them thusly.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. It is a cantrip, and they have to, I think it's maybe wisdom saving throw.
The bears are not brave enough to find out what's going on with all these noises that are suddenly like behind and around them, and you hear them start like moving off deeper into the forest.
Well, this was fun.
Do I know how far they would go?
No, you just like their sounds get like fainter.
Alright, well.
She's like, go to the cave, and we're like, not today, Satan.
I am all for simply maybe biding our time until we meet with the Lord Commander.
Yeah.
No, it's totally
At this
I'm kind
point,
of done.
we just tell Budmore we're not comfortable killing cubs.
Let's
But
go.
we did get rid of them.
We did.
It didn't say kill, it said get rid of.
I'll let you argue that with him.
Yeah. Alright, we
So
heading back?
you guys get back to the bounty board, and Bunmore's like, "Fuck, that is record time."
Bunmore, how do you feel about killing children?
You don't.
Exactly! Well, I'm glad you agree with me, my friend, because we did not kill those bears because they were baby bears. We just shimmied them off into the forest far, far away. To which you did not say murder, babies. You said get rid of them, and we did. So, that is for
And he just like, and he goes, "No." And then he like takes out a quill and he writes "and cub" with a question mark next to the bounty. And then he's like, "We've got
plural
merchants coming
cubs."
through here."
You said you don't kill babies.
I said I don't kill children.
That's a child
Yeah,
bear.
child bear. Bear child.
Bear
Well,
child.
anyway.
Yeah.
Who wants to explore this town until our dinner?
He's just like,
Honestly, I'm just cool to let the time pass and just do a little time jump.
Yeah, are we able to time jump? Cause
Yeah.
What's the exchange?
It's a market.
Oh yeah, that's the marketing town.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Alright, no, you're fine.
Shit, there's a marketplace?
Yeah, in the center. It's called the exchange.
Alright, let me just.
There's a bookbinder if you need
Yeah,
a
that's
notebook.
where
I
she's-
supercharged
She
that
has
dude.
wooed Cade.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Alright, let me
I
just.
threw a bunch of dicks on his stuff.
What's the Willow Whale? Is that an inn
Yes.
over here?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, so y'all spend the day kind of like doing nothing, hanging out around the farm, helping John, because John will not let you sit idly on his farm.
Definitely gonna make sure
Tons-
all of my stuff's in order, my hair is neat, like I'm
Mhm.
primping so that I can go in and make the best impression possible.
Okay.
And he's just gonna go spend his time at the temple.
Yeah.
He's gonna go and meditate and possibly do some training.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
he's gonna spend the majority of the day there.
Right.
My armor's
Oh,
ready.
wait.
I'm gonna go get my armor.
It will be no. You'll have one more day on your armor,
Okay.
and
Oh, I could go get my cloak though.
If he did what he said
you
he
could
did.
go get your cloak.
I do not want to deal with the crowd today.
I can come with you.
Did you eat Doritos with
Do you
this?
want to come with me?
Fiery.
Oh, I picked it up and I was like, why did this get discolored? And then I was like, wait a second. It's like she probably
Yeah,
ate
fire
with like Doritos or
Cheetos
something.
are really good with it.
Alright, let's go see what the incompetent man has been able to do.
I want to come watch in case he screwed it up.
Okay.
Oh, Tenzin's not gonna be there. Oh well.
All right. All right. Okay. Excuse me, little. flashy one. Where did you go? It's all the way under there.
Got it.
Yes. So you guys get back to Laurent's shop, and he greets you as quickly as he can before Gasparmont
Welcome to Lawrence.
basically before Gasparmont can sashay out, and he comes out looking about as pleased as he possibly could be. Let me see.
Bonjour, mon ami. What do you have for me today?
Bonjour, I have something very nice.
I'm sure you do.
So he takes out your cloak and gives it a little shake. And as he does, you see that he has sewn threads into your cloak that match the colors of your house and of your crest. And as he gives it that shake, it all kind of ripples like a rainbow on the whole cloak. And then he swirls it around over your shoulders and then clasps it, and it's a brand new clasp. And it's kind of sewn around in that same house colors kind of thing. And he says, "Now, this can never be pierced or torn, not once. And if you're wearing this cloak, then you might be a little bit less easy to spot. Not only that, but I promise it will give you some extra protection." Now, what he has rolled is good for you. He has rolled a cloak that when you're wearing this, you will not receive piercing damage. You have +2 to defense.
Whoa.
I gotta write this down. Hold on, shit.
It rolled real high.
No piercing damage.
You'll still receive damage, but it won't be that it won't be
Resistance,
Yeah.
so half damage or something
Mhm.
like that. Okay.
Yep. Resistance to piercing damage. +2 to defense. And you'll roll advantage on stealth checks.
Shit.
Uh-oh, you're stepping up to Temsin level.
Resistance to piercing. +2 to defense.
Mm-hmm.
Is that +2 to my AC?
Yeah.
15, y'all. Moving up in the world.
Dang.
That is real good. I'm actually very impressed.
And then advantage on stealth checks.
Dang, that was a good. I wanted him to suck so I could be like, "Boo."
Same. I mean, this was good for me either way, so.
Yeah.
True, you're right.
This is quite impressive.
And now, my remaining gold.
You have my
Of course I have. And he very carefully counts out to make sure that you've paid up fully. It was a pleasure doing business with someone of your stature.
It was interesting to see what someone is capable of teaching themselves outside of an apprenticeship.
Oh, I have heard things of yours. Heard what you refused.
A refusal is not necessarily a mark of disapproval. And I have learned much within the apprenticeships that I did take.
Of course you did. But that was things that you were taught yourself. This is things I taught myself. Good day. And he sweeps his coat around.
Okay.
And Laurent is just in the back, he's just like, oh, okay, right.
I just casually lean against the desk and hypothetically, I'm talking to Laurent. I make sure Gasparmon's name. How would you feel about me dosing your friend?
And he's been embroidering someone's cufflinks, and he kind of stops and he's like,
It'll make him more quiet, but he'll still get work done.
he's not my friend. And then he like turns aside and like goes back to his work.
Oh my.
Is there a drink of his around anywhere?
Perception check.
18.
You don't see
Dang
anything.
it. I'm gonna leave a half dose.
Okay.
Well, since he's not your friend and he's not my friend, we'll call this. I would just like look at Thames and say,
He's not there.
oh, okay. I was like, we'll just call it fate. And then I just like pass a half bit of drugs. And I'm like,
Suddenly, Temsin awakes from his meditation, very angered for some reason.
and then I'm like,
You would.
and then I'm like, have a great day. And then I just
There's
kinda
a
leave.
disturbance in the force.
He's just like looking at this and he's like,
It's non-lethal. It just makes him complacent. It's fine.
and he like stuffs it in his pocket.
Guys, seriously, sense.
Actually, I'm gonna do a whole because I can't count half servings, so I'm just gonna give him a
You
whole.
sensed it the moment that she said it.
Mm-hmm. Temsin opens his eyes. He goes back into meditation.
I feel like it's just gonna be like Cowboy Bebop style. Bam, 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 bam.
Alright, so after getting your new fancy cloak,
Which is very good, and I'll never tell him how pleased I am with it. Ever.
she's stewing. She's like,
I wanted so badly to be able to fucking dunk on this dude.
okay.
Damn.
So, what are you guys doing to get ready for the dinner with the Lord Commander?
Making sure everything's in order, making sure we have the hush-hush, the gemstones,
Okay.
talking through everything.
Someone's just gonna make his way back to the farm with enough time to get ready as well.
Yeah, Tiffy's just gonna braid her hair and pack extra drugs.
She's like, I need this. Okay.
I'm gonna have to put another order in soon.
Alright, so you guys go ahead and you spend the day, getting your things together, getting your affairs in order. Jade and Archie, Archie would come with you.
Oh no.
So Archie comes along with you. Jade will stay behind because I don't want to do all of them. So Archie's like, okay, so he's been pretty sick lately, but it's okay because he's gonna be better soon, and it'll be great, and he's gonna be really proud because I got more badges, and I got a tent making badge, and I think I made the tent the way that I was supposed to, but it's okay because I got that badge, and he's like prattling on the entire time you guys are walking back to the Great Hall. And when you get there, you are met at the door by Una, who is dressed much more finely than she was, even for like the dinner with just like Lady Tiella. Like she has the betrayer colors on, she has like the rainbow circle that is the symbol of Atesa, like she's decked out. And her horns have like flowered with these really like pale white flowers that have like almost like a rainbow kind of shimmer at the very tip. And she's like, okay. Hi, Archie. Lovely to see you. Glad you're alive. He's not feeling very well, but I suppose you need to see him as he is. So we are going to go into the Great Hall, into the dining room, and when he comes in, please just stand for him until he sits. It might take him a minute to get to his chair. Right? Right. And then she kind of like straightens up, and like the concern that she'd had on her face kind of like falls away, and once again she's just like that first day that you saw her. She's very like poised, very put together, and very on top of it, and she leads you into this room, and similarly to the dinner with Lady Tiella, the table is like full of food. There's like another like roast pig there with like an apple shoved in its mouth. Like you've got like little sugar swans, lemon tarts. You have like these tureens of soup. Like just everything is on this table. And she like gestures you towards your chairs, and she's like, now it will just be the Lord Commander this evening. It won't be Lady Tiella, and it will not be the children. But I just ask that you remain on your best behavior, even if he seems a little odd. And she's like making eye contact with you, Sophie. She's like, remain best behavior.
Sophia puts a hand on her chest like, I would never.
Best behavior.
You have nothing to worry about.
Thank you for arranging this, Una. We appreciate it.
Oh, seeing though, is the Lord Commander old? Like elderly? I thought he was like
No,
50s.
he's in his 40s.
Oh, okay,
He
so he's
is.
decent.
Hold on. He
He's like
is.
some.
If it could just take me a little faster to get through my
This is
stuff.
gonna be some like Gandalf casting Saruman from
He
the end and
is.
shit.
He's mid 40s.
Okay, mid 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay. That's
Yeah.
what I thought around where he was, but then you
Yeah.
were like, he can't walk very well, and I was like, okay.
Well, he's under the
Yeah.
effect of some
And
heavy
so-
crystals.
So she like guides you each to a chair that have like little like these like it has every wine glass, it has every like fork and every spoon, every knife, every bowl, plate, like they're like formal dinner kind of thing. And she like gives you all like the once over, and then she's just and she opens the door, and in comes the Lord Commander. And this is the first time that you've seen him, but you recognize him immediately because his son Ernest, who you've seen, looks exactly like him. And Archie's even just like, hi,
Aww.
hey. And he's like standing real straight and stuff. But sure enough, the Lord Commander takes a minute to cross the room. And it doesn't look like he's hobbling. It doesn't look like he's weak exactly. But it looks like he's exhausted. His face is lined. There are these really deep set circles beneath his eyes. And even though he's dressed very finely and he holds himself very proudly, there's clearly a weight. And on his head is a circlet with a very familiar blue stone. And he nods to Una and he kind of gestures for you to take your seats, and he takes his and he says,
How close am I to him?
you are within 5 feet. So it's the Lord Commander is sat at the head of the table. Then there is Archie. There's Angarod. There is Remember, who is right next to Archie because he insisted. There is Safine, and there is Temzin.
Where's Una?
Una is standing
Okay.
just behind, and normally she'd stand like really like right next to him. She's like put some distance between him.
Interesting.
Did I notice a difference when he walked into the radius of the hush hush?
No.
Okay.
Okay. And so,
So he just kind of takes a seat. It is very good to meet you all finally.
It is an honor to meet you as well, Lord Commander.
Valen, please.
As you wish, Valen.
spell that for me.
Valen.
Very awkward to address him that way, but okay.
Yeah, very awkward.
It's
VALEN.
just like, well,
Mhm.
if you request.
And he kind of like glances around and he like seems to count. And there was where is Desire?
Um, we had some trouble on the road. He decided that he needed to return home to deal with a matter beyond our control.
I see. And he like seems to straighten a little bit, like he's trying to like draw himself up a little bit more at that. And he just kind of sinks back against his chair again. He's like, well, you've gotten here in easy enough time. Please, eat. And it's like everything seems to like come at a delay for him. Like he like signals for the waiter, like the servants to come and pour the drinks and like bring the first course and everything like that. And he's just kind of like sitting there, hands on the table. He's not quite touching anything.
Is that the same circlet that we saw in the jeweler?
You didn't see a circlet. You saw an order for a circlet.
Oh, an order for a circlet.
Yeah.
Does it fit the dimensions of that, or?
It just in the book. It just said
says
circlet.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And that's all it said was just circlet.
When was that? Or
when I
give
was
place
looking through the books
Yeah.
in the thing.
We didn't write down the date, remember?
Wasn't it the most recent one? Was the order for the circlet?
Yeah.
There was orders for.
Is remember still like tit out? Okay.
There was all I have notes of is there was a rush on an order for Lady Commander. There was an order for Circlet, and then he already had a couple completed. They were necklaces, correct?
Whatever you.
Shoot, I don't remember. I thought I had it written down, but I don't have it written. Because there's a couple completed pieces in the lead box.
Rush order for a necklace and a circlet for Lady Commander
Right.
Tiela. There was a purchase for the 15th of Zippor, which is the next month.
Right. And then there was a couple already made pieces in the lead box, in that box of like miscellaneous items.
I am going to, while they figure this out, I'm going to cast Detect Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try to do that subtly. So I'm not just like, but.
Okay, so I thought 3 necklaces.
It's just a concentration spell.
Okay.
And I don't think it has to have a saving throw or anything, it just.
Yeah, you definitely detect magic.
From his circlet? Or?
From the circlet, and also something against his chest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the last entry is a circlet. And there's a rush order for a necklace and a circlet for Lady Commander.
Right. So there's a good chance that could be one of the circlets that there was.
And there's a good chance that the Lady Commander is the one who commissioned it.
Valen, it is very kind of you to bring us into your home and into your city, even. May I be so bold to ask as to why you've invited us on such terms, in such vague writings?
Because you are exactly what I need.
Which is?
You follow the gods, unlike anyone else. And in a Taseth, we don't. Here, money is what moves things. And I believe that there is something rising up through such an avenue. And then he kind of pauses, and then he removes the circlet and sets it on the table. Have you seen these stones?
Yes. We have been tracking them through the countryside. In fact,
How many have you seen?
personally, I have seen 2.
Where are they now?
What would you do with them?
Put them with the others.
And the others?
And he looks at Una and he says, "You're dismissed." And she, like, freezes for a second because this is clearly not something that normally happens, but she nods very slowly and then she leaves the room. And then he glances to Archie and he says, "Archie, please go with Una." And so Archie, like, hesitates and then follows after. And then he pushes back from the table, dismisses the servants, and he says, "Will you please come with me?"
To us?
Yes.
Of course.
I'm gonna perception check this.
Yeah.
To see if he means like any ill will or if this is like sketchy. It's nothing, it's an 8.
Could I join that inside check?
Yeah, you can all, like, he's asked you if you want to come follow after him.
19.
He seems sincere.
Yeah, Angar's gonna follow.
Okay.
Yep, I'm gonna follow.
He's
So-
not wearing the circlet anymore.
He set it on the table.
But he is still wearing the necklace.
I mean,
But
you
we
guys
don't
don't
know.
know that.
Yeah,
I
she
only know
knows.
that.
Yeah.
You're right.
But as they, like, as he goes to, like, lead you back, he does pick up the circlet, but by the metal of it. He doesn't put it back on his head.
As he's leading us behind in like in true like what is that game called charades form, I'm gonna be like I'm gonna like motion that there's a circlet and a necklace.
And he leads you not to the door, but he actually leads you to part of the wall.
Oh,
And
good.
he pushes on a stone, and the wall slides open. And he leads you, up these like this winding staircase back, and he pauses outside of a door. Safine and Angarad, that what you've heard is suddenly multiplied by 1,000.
No.
And he pauses outside of the door, and he doesn't move. He just kind of stands there and then closes his eyes.
Can like Tamsin tell there's like physically that they're going through something?
Oh yeah. No, they would definitely be like, however they are affected by this is you would see it. Like
Okay.
they wouldn't be able to hide.
And even though Angrad has the hush hush, it's not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who didn't touch it aren't affected.
Right. They feel like you and Remember would feel uncomfortable, but you don't know why. And then the Lord Commander says, "Please, don't touch anything." And then he opens the door. And inside there are necklaces, there are circlets, there are bracelets, there are rings. And every single one of them is set with either a blue gem or a sliver of a blue gem, and they are everywhere. You see lead boxes that are like locked. You see sheets of lead that are like on the walls and stuff like that. Like he's clearly trying to keep this contained. But there's many, many, many of these gemstones in here. And he says, "I buy every one that I know is coming in. Every single one." And then he motions to them and he says, "These. You found 2 of them.
We've found more than 2.
Do you have them?
No.
The ones that you have found, do you have them?"
No.
And then he like yanks
Why
the
do you
door
wear
shut
this?
again.
Why do you subject yourself to this? I have fallen prey to these stones. I know what it does. Why do you do this to yourself?
Because they believe I am stupid. I am bait, but I am bait in a trap that I know how to get out of eventually.
So that's why we're here, to help you get out.
Yes.
Who set the trap?
The merchants did. They don't realize it, I don't think. It's not something you can ask. And he kind of like chuckles a little bit, and then he like quickly takes the circlet off and like tosses it in the room. Takes a necklace off from underneath and like tosses that in the room, and then like shuts the door again and locks it and puts the key in his pocket. And he just like waves a hand at it and he's like, "It started very quietly, and it got a lot louder and a lot more prevalent. I just need it to be stopped. But it is beyond the reach of most. And I called you all not because I know what you have done, but your gods do. And they told me to."
Wait, our gods told you.
This is some divine intervention BS.
And he's just like sagged a little bit against the door, like he's exhausted.
And who purchased these things for you?
I purchased some of them. Some were just. It started very simply. I ordered a necklace, and I ordered it for my wife, but when I picked up the necklace, I heard things and felt things that I didn't want her getting involved in. So I kept it for myself, but then the next time I ordered something again, the same thing, and it was the same gem.
Do you know where the merchants are getting these stones?
They're imported from somewhere.
But they're importing them intentionally.
I think at this point they are.
Do you suspect a coup?
At this point, yes, I do. I didn't at first. I thought maybe they were blind to it.
So you believe that they think you've fallen subject to their trap?
Yes.
And for now, you're trying to play along.
Until I can no longer.
Well, why not substitute the jewels?
I fear someone would know. Clearly there is heavy magic at work here, so clearly there is a mage of some sort.
Do you know who would target you like this? Obviously, the merchants are part of this, but I do not believe they are the root cause.
I have no idea. Iteseth has been the target of many assassinations and attacks are expected of a country and a kingdom who was founded on betrayal. It's expected that someone would want to take our land, want to take our people. And I will not have that.
If I were to cast Cure Wounds on him, would that relieve any of his, fatigue?
No, this is
Just mental stress, basically?
exhaustion.
Okay.
And exhaustion is actually a trait in D&D. So you have disadvantage on ability checks at level 1. Speed is halved at level 2. Disadvantage on attacks and saves at level 3. HP maximum it's halved at level 4. Speed reduced to 0 at level 5. And death at level 6. He looks like he is not as healthy as he should be.
So I can't, lesser restoration him because that's
Mm-mm.
not gonna help. Okay.
Like a long rest will reduce the level by 1, but he looks like he hasn't had a long rest in a while. Yeah.
Alright. You want us to take care of this problem. And I would very much like to take care of this problem for you. These are evil things. They should not be allowed to exist as they are. But where do we start?
Have you tried destroying them?
They seem impervious to physical harm. And yet, someone is able to break them. I have a pair of earrings where the pieces of the stones are so small I thought them sapphires. Somehow they're able to be damaged. And if they're able to be damaged, they're able to be destroyed. If you cannot find out who is doing this, find out a way to destroy them. Your God sent you to me, whether you like it or not.
When I cast Identify on it the first time, because that was one of the first things I did,
Mm-hmm.
that usually lets me find the school of magic that the thing is from. Did I get that?
You would have gotten enchantment, which is affect minds. Yes. Remember, was it? And he's like looking up. Vane was the easiest to figure out, actually. She spoke to me through fire. Based on contacting Bane, that would absolutely check out. Yeah.
Well, Commander, you say that the gods brought us to you. What god spoke to you of me?
One with many eyes.
Oh.
Whichever one that may be. As I said, Taseth, we do not worship the gods here because we feel that here people need to break away from wherever it is they came from. But they were quite beautiful. Whichever that one may be. Bane was the easiest because Bane was loud and there was fire and there was no questioning that. I had a raven speak to me. Ravens speak if you train them, but not this way. And Temzin, I woke up from a dream of your name with this. And he pushes back his robe, and there is a, like, scar, a burn mark of, like, braided scar tissue. And then he's, like, lets you see it, and then he just slides the robe of his clothes back.
Timson just nods.
And then he kind of nods and he says, "It must go much deeper if desire turned away. There must be others moving against it." I apologize. I grow weary. Shall we go and have supper then?
Yes. And I believe it would be a good idea to maybe talk through our options while we do so.
Right. And he, like, slowly leads you all back down the stairs and slides the door closed again. And then he goes and summons Una and Archie and summons the servants back. He says, "We'll be having supper now. My apologies. I wish to speak with them in private." And then he slowly takes his chair again. The first course comes and goes. Second course comes and goes.
Am I able to? I'm gonna assume Frey was the one that came to him because she's the flora and fauna
Mhm.
goddess, which would be Raven.
Mhm.
Because I don't have any.
Yeah. Let me double check your goddess deity list.
My days, my.
And that was way more than I thought it was gonna be.
Well, that was not what I expected.
I know, right? Same.
But at the same time, we kind of called it
Yeah.
systematic.
Where? Okay. Where are all of my gods and goddesses? Okay, yeah. So let's just go straight into. Okay, yeah. So which one did you say?
Frey.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to pour out a little bit of wine
Mhm.
for her and kind of quietly pray,
Okay.
which is the first time I'd be praying in years.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna see if she wants to talk a little bit.
While you're at the table?
Yeah, why not? She spoke to the Lord Commander, she can speak to me.
Okay. So you pour out the wine, and um, you pour it out, and it looks like the bottom half of a crest of like a moon, like it's flat topped and then a circle. And then as you watch it, that same wine kind of almost like it moves on its own and spills into a full circle,
Interesting.
which would be Eos. as well as Frey.
This is big then. This is like Pantheon big.
All the gods.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, am I able to like roll to get any kind of insight from that?
That's all you got right now.
Okay.
But they're willing to speak with you. Is
Okay.
what you got. Okay.
Lord Commander, would it be possible after dinner could we maybe retire to a private study or something like that to speak without listening ears?
Easy enough. And he drains his goblet.
Wait, was Una in the room when we came back in?
She came back in when he summoned her.
Oh, okay. But then he asked for privacy.
No,
We're still in the room.
You're
with
still.
everybody.
You're in the dining room now. Like,
Everybody's eating.
yeah, everyone's
Okay.
like the servants are coming and refilling glasses and yeah, definitely a much heavier atmosphere. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's not offering much in the way of information. Like he's making small talk almost.
Right.
And he's like asking you about Adgord. He's like mentioning like certain things that he's heard about like Tardothian like cattle and like he's making small talk mostly around.
So I guess we kind of just
Yeah,
like
I guess we just
eat dinner and then convene with him afterwards.
Yeah.
So, has Timson noticed any like orphan, any orphans or like kids on the street or any homeless people or anything like that in the city?
Yeah, he would have seen like kids that don't really seem to have like much of a place to go. A couple people here and there that don't really seem like they have much of a place to go. But
Okay.
yeah.
So everybody, are we done with dinner? Is there anything anybody wanted to do while people were eating?
Nope. It sounds like everyone's just kind of making small talk and stuff.
Okay. So basically, what everybody's done before they go, Timson's gonna pull Una aside.
Okay.
And Una, if you don't mind me asking,
And she like leans way down.
what is going to be done with all the leftover food?
The servants take what they want.
Oh, okay. Do you think it'd be possible for me to take a couple plates?
Take whatever you wish. You're guest of the Lord Commander. And she like keeps looking back over at him.
Timson's gonna like prepare a couple
Saran
plates to
wrap
take with
a
him
few
later.
plates.
Okay.